Well. Welcome back.
Back, people, to the chatterbox.
Yeah.
Today's topic is.
Welcome back to the Chatters Box, man. It's your boy True 102.
Lady K.
And Cornella.
We missed last week. We had kind of talked about, wrapped up, how do we date and is marriage worth it? And this week we got an interesting topic. Whose position is who? And yeah, we're going to call Shelvin in a little bit here.
So what this is about today, this topic is about the role as parents, step parents. Is it okay, or are you okay with your child? What your position is if your child is referring to the step parent or whomever is in position, step parent as their parent, mother or father? Is that an option, or is that something that you feel that your child should be comfortable? Your child should make that decision. I'll let the parent. Your parent.
I'm a parent.
I'll let the parent start this off.
Well, for me, I definitely think the child should make the decision on whether, what they want to call them, whether it's stepdad or, by their name, or I think kids need to set the tone of whether they want to call them dad or not. And it just really determines on the relationship between that individual and that child. Mm-hmm. Because as for me, I truly believe that everybody has a position everybody has a position and you have a title. And for me, I'm the only mother to my children. Mm-hmm. So for me, for my sons, even though they'll soon be married one day, I feel that no other woman should be called mother because I raised them and I pushed them out and I put in the hard work to be a mother. That's my title. Mm-hmm. So if you call her Miss Ann or whatever, but mother shouldn't be attached to it. I mean, it doesn't mean that you're disrespecting her any magnitude and vice versa, because I have my two daughters that are not by my husband. Mm-hmm. I never forced them to call him dad. They picked it up on their own. But the crazy part is they don't just say dad, they say Daddy Anthony. That's just what they chose to do. They say Daddy Anthony. And they still have relationships with their dad. Their dad has a great relationship with, my husband has a great relationship with their fathers. There's no animosity at all and never have been. Yeah. But they chose to still respect the magnitude of them having their father and also having another father in their life. Additional, just Daddy Anthony. So to me, that's, how I feel. But at the same time, it depends on the circumstances because there are individuals that have relationships to where their fathers or mothers are not present. So you're looking at the standpoint from that, then that person becomes their father because their father has never been there, in their life to bring any type of influence. So I think it definitely it depends on the scenario of what the household is going through. But for me, it's a no. I'm the only mama.
Yeah.
I'm not a parent, but everybody's been a kid.
Yeah.
And my dad remarried. My mom didn't remarry, but my dad did. And when they were dating or engaged, the people that were in the church, they were like, "Oh, your mama." No, that's not my mama. Mm-hmm. My mom. And it wasn't about disrespect. It was just that that's not my mom.
Right.
And my mom is living, and she's a mom.
Right.
Yeah.
So I call my stepmother Miss Carmen. Mm-hmm. I've always called her Miss Carmen. It's never changed. I mean, that's something that she told us that she wanted to be called Miss Carmen.
And probably coming from a point like me, that I want you to make sure you give your mother her flowers because that's your mother.
Yeah.
I didn't birth you. I wouldn't dare, make my children's significant others call me mother. I would, Miss Cornella's fine, and I'd be okay with that. But a lot of people get caught up in the title.
Yeah.
For me, if it's about the kid, it doesn't matter the title. Just do what you need to do. But some people feel like, that if you're not calling me dad, then, I'm doing all this for you. I'm paying the bills. I'm covering your head of your household. And, you need to call me daddy because I'm playing the role of a daddy. But that's not your position. You didn't birth that child.
You don't get to. I don't think you get to claim that. That is for the kid to claim. If that child feels like, okay, this is like a father or like a mother, then they want to do that, they're going to yield towards that.
Right.
And even if they do see as a father or mother figure, they may never call you that.
Absolutely. It doesn't
you should just be okay with it. It doesn't mean that it's taken away from what you've done or your efforts. It just means that, they're not recognizing you as their biological parent.
Right. And I that's how I feel. I just feel like, as an adult, all adults should be okay with being and knowing, because when you're a stepmom, you're a stepmom. This is the thing that people get this misconstrued, is that mothers and fathers are literally responsible for that child. A step parent is not solely responsible for every aspect of your life just because they're with your dad or your father. It's only certain things they're responsible for and connected to you. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So when you want to say, like for me, if my son called his significant other, girlfriend or wife, mother, I'm just going to ask, when you need that car payment due, go over there to your mama. Is she going to pay that car payment? You know what I'm saying? You need part of your bills paid.
Yeah.
Is she going to do what I do? Yeah. So it's just a respect thing that I'm the mother. Stepmothers help.
Yes, that's what I was ready to say.
Help.
I was going to say like an assist.
Yeah, that's an assistant, and it's okay. Yeah. People just need to understand what titles are and act in that title.
Play your role. Yeah,
play your role.
Yeah. What you think?
Yeah, I think the same. I had my mom never remarried, but my daddy married too. Mm-hmm. And I had a step mama, but I never ever have called her mom. I always called her like Mimi. We call her Mimi. Mm-hmm. And vice versa. I mean, I don't think I would ever call another woman mama, period, because I don't know, me and my mama just, that's my guy. You know what I'm saying? So, but at the same time, I had a baby in high school that turned out not to be my baby. And he don't call me daddy, like he just called me twin. You know? But I don't even know if he know that story or that part of it, but he just called me twin, and I'm cool with that. Like, it don't bother me.
Yeah.
Right, because you know what you do. It's all about the kid and what you do. So I think it's to each his own. There are some people just have situations to where they marry into, a relationship, and fathers or the other parent is not there, and they just take on their responsibility 100%. So they feel like they're owed that title. They feel like, okay, if I'm the step parent, I'm not stepping these bills and nothing else. Your father's never even been in your life. I've been the only father so they feel like they need to have that title as a father. But for me, whether that person is in their life or not, or neglected, because sometimes for me, if the other parent is not in their life, it may have been for the better good. If they were on drugs or they were going to do any type of harm at that point of their life to their child, it's best that they stay out. But it still does not mean that that's not the mother or the father to their child. Yeah. It does not mean you get the title because their dad is not in the household or lack the responsibility of being the father. Yeah. You didn't birth that child. That's not your semen.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, you're still a step parent. And this is what I say. If you're in a relationship and that is the circumstance, then adopt that child. Okay. Until you adopt that child, that's not your child. You can hold a title of dad if we're married and you adopt that child.
Can we call Big Bro Shelly?
Go ahead and give a call.
Yeah, let's also some of the comments. Sometimes it's not a help, though. Sometimes it's taking on the entire responsibility. Hey, Shelvin.
Hey, Shelvin.
We want to get your take on this. Great.
Going good.
Well, I understand. I heard y'all. I'm over tapping away. I'm trying to get to this club, man. Fresh out this plane, man. Fresh from Vegas, man. Look, it's so important to me, man. These conversations, man. I don't even let no airplane hinder this, man. We got to get to these conversations. They're very, very important to me.
Right.
Hey, absolutely.
Hey, babe. Come on, babe. Yeah, we are still at the airport. Y'all got to forgive me. Yeah, man, I get y'all take on it, man. But I got to say, there's a whole bunch of different aspects and different perspectives and different circumstances when it comes to being, in a child's life, especially being a step parent, as I am. You see, I'm a little tired, I'm a little winded. Y'all pray for me. So y'all probably seen me typing away. But yeah, man, I think it's very, very, it's different for everybody. I believe so. Me being a step parent, man, having to go through the circumstances and situations with my sons and their fathers. You know what I'm saying? Like, when I first got with my sons, man, I kept telling them, say, bro, I got to call your father, try to build a relationship. right? And they kept doing it, you know, especially my oldest son when his father was on, you know, child support. Man, his father would, you know, try to be in his life or whatever. I guess it was a game, whatever. I don't know. But shoot. So what happened was he he talked to him into getting out the child support, and once they cut the child support off, dude, like, stopped answering the phone, stopped, you know, everything. Like, my son was he was broken hearted, man. I had to sit there, you know, listen to him ask me questions like, man, he ain't answering the phone. Why he ain't answering the phone? You know, all these kind of questions coming from my son, man. I got to encourage that. You know what I'm saying? I'm looking at this dude in the face like, bro, I don't know why he tripping. I don't know why he don't want you, bro. I don't know. I can't answer that. But you got me. You know what I'm saying? So it's different. Like, you know what I'm saying? So I grasped that dude. I took him in like my son. It ain't got nothing to do with titles. Yeah. Like, it's got something to do with
it's a bond.
Me being a black man.
Yeah.
And just a bond.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so, yeah, nothing. I came up with a lot of stepfathers in the house. My mother used to always tell me, you go call him daddy. Yeah. I used to get my butt whooped all the time. I used to call them everything but daddy, Negro and everything.
Yeah.
The only person I did call dad was my sister's dad. Why? Because he was there, like, he held us down, like he was 100. So he wasn't perfect, but he held us down. You know what I'm saying? And so I gave him what you know I felt like he deserved. And that was if he wanted to be called that, you know, to solidify or confirm who he was to me in my life, that's cool because he was putting in the work. You know what I'm saying? But it wasn't about a title with him. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and I think that's where it's different at when the children make the decision, right, to say this is dad, because you can't make I don't think you should ever make a child call someone what you feel like they need to call them because you're dating them. Yeah. But a lot of things, and another thing is, I really think that as parents, when you're not in a relationship with the biological parent and you start to date, you know, another person, a lot of parents don't feel like they need to include how the child feels about your other person that you finna bring into their life and into the household. And I think that's what kind of, you know, messes up things. They don't get to say, yeah, now you can date them or not. Right. But I still think there's a conversation that needs to be had where they can get comfortable, and there are some things that need to be talked about and for them to get comfortable with that person instead of you just springing on, okay, this is my new man. Yeah. I think a lot of that happens, though, because we as individuals forget that we are connected to somebody else. It's not about us. If you're single, you can do that because you're not interfering with anyone else. But when you have children, you gotta just kind of like talk to them and say, hey, you know, I'm dating this person or whatever. And ultimately, it's your decision what you want to do. The kid not going to decide it. But you just definitely don't need to just throw somebody on them.
Ultimately, it's your decision what you want to do. The kid's not going to decide it. But you just definitely don't need to just throw something on them.
You know, it should be something that develops. It should let it develop. You know, I think a lot of times we go about those relationships the wrong way. You know, a lot of times we go about those relationships in a way where the kid doesn't have a say-so. And by the time the kid gets the time to have a say-so, you've already passed so many titles. Like, y'all went through talking and I'm playing good, playing that. Y'all married. Yeah. Or the woman, yeah. Then you walking here talking about this your new dad and shit. He's like, oh no.
Right.
And what happens is a lot of times we put kids in bad positions like this.
Absolutely.
Little boys.
Yeah, absolutely.
When it comes to little boys, you know, a parent, and I respect this, a parent always say, ain't nobody gonna love me like my kids gonna love me. Mm-hmm. And that's true.
I believe it.
That is so true, but that should be based on a certain distinction. Because we don't make that distinction between that love, what you'll end up growing up with is a kid that got the wrong kind of love for their parent in a bad relationship. It's a bad relationship. So now you calling this little boy the head of the house, the man of the house. That's cool. You raising a man of a house, but you shouldn't be raising a man of your house.
Absolutely. I think I agree I agree with you. However, I feel that most people that have young men, you know, sons or whatever, when that kind of goes that way, I think it's part of as a woman, you're choosing the wrong man, because if you have the right man that you're choosing to be into your life and including your children's life, those type of scenarios should never come up. Because sometimes we enter into a relationship with a person that shows us one thing and then they change. Mm-hmm. And then, like, say, for instance, you're in a relationship with a person and they were working and everything, they lose a job. It's okay, that happens. Mm-hmm. But how long are you going to be without a job? You a whole year and a half over here without a job, but you got a high school student that's going to work, and then you asking that high school student to pay bills, but you got this man here that ain't doing nothing. So then that brings on. So it just really the situation. That's why that young man probably feel like I'm more of a man than he is. See, it's a lot of that's truly going on is why these kids are reacting like that. But then it's also that household where you got the parents that do talk about, hey, I'm got another guy coming in, I'm about to date this person, that do the right thing. But it's more of situations to me that parents are just not including their kids in the conversation of who they finna, get ready to date, and introducing them to the person.
Yeah, and introducing them too soon is
too soon is a problem. Yeah.
Oh my God.
Because it's like a revolving door. You don't never need to your kids. It's not nothing serious. They don't need to see everybody that you're dating.
Absolutely.
They shouldn't even know them by first name.
Absolutely.
Everybody don't belong. Everybody shouldn't have a privilege of knowing where you stay, who your children are, and anything about them until you reach a certain point in your relationship. But if you're in a relationship or a marriage, then I definitely think that depending on what the household is, the children definitely need to determine whether they call the other absent parent mother or father, not the adults.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if they don't choose to call you that, then that's fine.
Yeah, it should be okay.
And if you have a problem with it, or you feel like, all of us have intuitions. If you feel like there's a problem with it and you just that person want to know why they won't call you dad or mom, then have a conversation.
Yeah, ask them.
It's just a conversation. And if it's something that you can change, then change it. If a title mean that much to you, then change what needs to be changed with it. You can get the name card that you want, I guess.
Well, yeah, but you also got to be careful with these kids because they get very disrespectful too.
They do. But so I think
there has to be a distinction made on that.
Yeah,
but we got to set boundaries. But just because somebody call you mama or daddy, don't mean they're gonna respect you either.
Right.
At all.
So it definitely, boundaries should definitely be established in that relationship. Whether they call you mom, dad, or
when you get with a child, when you have a situation where the child is already in the teen, late teen, mid teen, or whatever, they already accept that they would never have another parent in the household.
Right.
They get so disrespectful, especially, those little girls towards them women.
Well, I think that's, I beg to differ. I know that it happens,
I know,
but I just think that
it happens more often than not. And I'm not going to sit there and dilute the fact that this stuff happens. It's more so than not that the relationship with the mother and the son, they grow up wrong. More so than not, because the mother always say, well, you're not going to love me. Nobody's going to love me like you and all this stuff. And it happens more often than not. It's not like a rare thing that happens. It happens more often than not.
Right. And I agree. But I'm just saying, I think that it happens when, again, conversations are not being had, no boundaries. And let me just say this. A lot of times when children act out like that, I feel that women or men put more attention into their significant other than their child. It has to be a balance. Sometimes it's just unbalanced. Yeah. Some people date their husbands and stuff and think that this kid, it don't matter. It does matter, and vice versa. And then that kid is sitting over there feeling neglected, and you wonder why they're acting out. Well, ain't neither one of y'all tried to understand that baby needs some more attention as well. Yeah. And everybody's household is different. You just have to have a balance. And I see more often than anything that kids are not thought about as much as your significant other. And I know the Bible says that the husband come first. But for me,
what they got to do with?
Because everybody feel that you have to see to him more than your kids. That's who's the head of the household. But for me, it don't work like that.
No. And the reason why it doesn't work like that is because that's a relationship too. So you're not going to have the same relationship with your kids as your significant other.
Well, that's not what it's saying. Please look, let's not talk. Let's not put description on what the Bible is describing there.
You're going in and out.
Yeah, you're going out. What I'm saying is that a lot of people do that, where they get into relationships, they not even married yet, but because this person is so new, they overspend time with this person that they're introducing to their life, and then they neglect the relationships they already have, and usually that's the child.
Right.
And then when you finally do meet this parent or the person your mother or father is dating, there is animosity there, because it's like, okay, you came in the picture, now I don't exist. So
it's the balance.
It's the balance. Yeah, no, that shouldn't be the case. In a healthy relationship, that shouldn't be the case.
Yeah, exactly. But that's what happens, though. Okay,
say
Shelvin,
what you was going to
say. What you was going to say with the Bible, because you went out.
Yeah.
Well, the Bible is not saying that you should put the child or the husband above the child or the wife. It's speaking on the position and structure of the house. See, God has a structure of His house. That's why the Bible speaks so specifically about His house. God, family is the most important thing. But He also knows how He created us to be in the family. So what He's saying is the son or the daughter should not have more authority over the husband or the wife. It's not saying that you should put one above the other. In other words, it's saying the husband and the wife have the authority over the household. Once you lose that structure of what God has placed, then you have a dysfunctional household. Dysfunctional means it's not operating properly. It's not saying that the wife is or the husband. Because everything y'all decide on, everything that y'all do is going to be based off those kids' future. It should be anyway, because they are the foundation. That's why the Bible says husbands nurture your child, and it talks about how the wife act in regards to the children as well. It never says that the husband is more important or the wife is more important than the children.
Right, but that's how society act. They take that word. I understand what you're saying, but they take that word, and I see it more often in women than men, and they put that as, okay, the man is the head of the household, he come first, to everything, and then I think about you next.
Yeah.
Even though the word don't say that, but that's how people operate in a marriage. Yeah, they interpret it that way, and it's lived like that.
Yeah.
Well, but for me, because we were brought up like that through centuries of, miscommunications and misunderstandings of what the structure of the house was. And, back in the day, it was more about, the man has finally been able to get a job and take care of the house. You got to understand, we come from a slave mindset. We come from slavery, over 200 years of intense slavery, plus the other 200 of mental slavery. So we coming out of, so when the male was coming out of that stuff, he was in a position, now I can finally, take care of my household. Now I can finally, and so it wasn't right? It wasn't right, but it just the way it came out. Now we're still growing. Of course, we still have a lot more room, to grow, but at the end of the day, we still have to realize what the Bible is saying about the structure of the household. Because biblically, nobody comes before the husband or the wife when it comes to the husband and the wife. But it's not speaking in the sense of who's more important.
Absolutely.
Because everybody's important. The Bible says God has no respective person. So I just want to clear that up, especially, me being a preacher. I'm not going to let y'all go on with thinking that that's the way it meant,
Right, and I know it's not meant like that, but that's just society. That's just how it's done.
I'm talking about everybody that's online.
Yeah.
Talking about everybody. Hold on, y'all, hold on real quick.
What's some of the comments here?
Being a single mother, you definitely have to communicate with your children before choosing to bring a new person into being a single mother. You definitely have to.
That's exactly right. I mean, I agree with that, because they're ultimately important, because I know for me as a mother, I really, value how my children feel when it comes to me being in a relationship with anyone, because I'm a firm believer that, marriages can fail, relationships can fail.
Yeah.
But with your children, through good, bad, and ugly, at some point, you're going to have a better, or a longevity in a relationship with your child than you will in a relationship. You know what I'm saying? And I do know that there are some kids that, don't even have a relationship with their parents because of whatever circumstances. But again, it's more likely that your children will be there when that husband leave you and when that boyfriend or, significant other leave you. So, you definitely have to make sure that you're nurturing them.
It's sad that we live in a world where a woman feels like That was never the intention of this. That was never the intention of marriage. That's why God only allowed marriage because He knew that man, the heart. He said because it was for the hardness of man's heart. The only reason He allowed it. It was never God's intention to ever, have somebody get married with the thought of this isn't gonna last. That's why the Bible says God is married to the backslider. So I understand He's God, and that's a different level of ability and all of that. But at the end of the day, God didn't ordain marriage for it to be something that we just do for no fly-by-night kind of stuff. I mean, we get in our feelings and we get to the point where one night we love them and the next night, too, here goes the divorce paper.
Again, that's never intended.
And it's sad. It's sad that we live in a world like that. And I hate that women feel like that. I really do. Because everybody want to be happy. I'm sorry to say it. I don't shoot the messenger, but marriage was never orchestrated or have the intent. I'm sorry. Don't get mad at me. I just want to tell you the truth. It never had the intention of happiness. Marriage was to help get us to our purpose. That's what marriage was. That's what marriage is.
But do you think, if marriage is helping you get each other to the purpose, at some point there should be happiness, because you can't get to a purpose when you're stressed out or when there's chaos. So some happiness got to be in there somewhere.
It's hard. I mean, I'm not saying there won't be no happiness. I'm just saying it's not the intention of it.
That is interesting because if God's saying His word,
not biblical. It's not biblical.
I've never heard it in that form, though, so that's interesting.
Yes, but that's why I'm saying don't shoot the messenger. It's not biblical. That's why when you get married, you should know for a fact that who you're marrying, you're going to be willing in sickness and in health, for good and in bad, broke or rich, whatever. You're going to have to know that you're going to be with this person through it all.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Based off happiness.
Well, yeah, I definitely agree with you with that. You can't base off happiness, because if you are living in a world, you don't even have to be married to know that you're going to have issues and you're not going to always be happy. Every day is not going to be a good day. Right. There's always going to be challenges. Right. So, just being human, that you're going to have obstacles that come, and you're going to have good and bad days. So just imagine how many more obstacles and bad days you have when you become a union with someone. So that should be obvious that there's going to be those times, but you should be in a pursuit of trying to make it as happy as possible in a relationship. Because if I'm going to be going through some stuff, I'd rather go by myself than with somebody else. You understand what I'm saying? So at some point, we got to be working toward the pursuit of being as happy as possible. And that's why I say that, it's important also to find your soulmate. Because your soulmate will understand. I understand it's not in the Bible. I just say I feel like that it's important that you find your soulmate.
So what's the description of a soulmate?
A person that understands you, that actually gets you. It's not always
not being equally yoked.
Yeah.
I didn't say that, your soulmate is always equally yoked. Well, let me just say this then, since you said that. I'm glad you said that. Because let me say this. Let me say this. A lot in the society, let's just say the society we live in today, that when you say equally yoked, there are a lot of people that get married for a business. It's just a business. You hear me? You got money, I got money. We finna be a power couple. And because y'all been together for so long, because you'll be around a person so long that you grow to love them, right? And then you start to have a commitment with them. You see what I'm saying? Because y'all been around each other and y'all learned each other ways and stuff to where you grown to have a connection. And then all of a sudden y'all feel like that can happen. You can be married to a person. You know what I'm saying? And then you feel like that's your soulmate, but it's really not. You understand what I'm saying? Comfortable. You're comfortable, but you kind of get it misconstrued that the comfort versus soulmate. So I believe that you can find your soulmate just depending on what you're looking for. Because everybody that feel good to you ain't good. Mary J made the best song about that.
Hey,
most stuff that feel good ain't right.
That's true.
So,
Everything good ain't good for you.
Yeah, so I
mean, at the end of the day, what are we really doing here? Because if we're not teaching the proper structure, just because the structure isn't working in the world doesn't mean it's not right to teach the proper. That's why it's not working, because we're not teaching it.
I get that. I agree with that.
What
it's not
is, look, if you won't be happy and you got a good man You marry him. He might be cheating, and when you find out about that, then all your happiness got broken, and now you looking for a divorce.
Okay, so what's the perfect structure for you, to you? What's the perfect structure to you? What would you call the perfect?
God, Jesus, husband, wife, and a kid.
Okay,
that's perfect structure.
Right.
Okay, but
I'm not, in marriage. There's not supposed to be no cheating. So you telling me? Yeah. I know marriage said to death do you part, through good and the bad. But
cheating is not the only thing that happens in marriage.
No, it's not. But it's not the only thing that happens in marriage.
So you can't supposed to practice celibacy in marriage either.
I understand that. So let me ask you this. So you're married, right? So therefore, let me just say this: in your marriage, you think that for a proper structure, because you say that people, you find out they cheating and you just really want to get a divorce. Why would you stay with someone that cheated on you?
Now, if they're a cheater, that's a different thing. I can understand.
I don't care if it's cheater or cheat. Cheat is a cheater.
Nah, hey, I look at it like
a mistake.
I look at it like
that's not a mistake. That is not a mistake.
I have never cheated on my wife.
No,
but what you mean a mistake?
What do you call it?
When you go out if you go out your relationship or marriage to go, that's intentional because you know right from wrong. Mistakes.
Okay, look,
yeah, but that's easier for you to say than for everybody else. They're probably weaker to the flesh on that area. Everybody has an area where they're weaker to flesh.
I get that, but
does that the evil that so easily besets them? Everybody's stuff isn't even cheating. Some people's stuff is abuse.
I get
Some people's stuff is neglect. Some people's stuff is abandonment. And a lot of women have to deal with that kind of stuff too, just like men. Some people's stuff is nagging all the time. Instead of to live in the corner of a house and live in a house with a nagging woman.
But what's a nagging woman, though?
Bible.
What's a nagging woman? Yes. Because you know if a woman getting on...
Everything.
Everything. But, okay.
Everything.
But
what you not doing? Where your phone at? Why you up in here?
Well, that's controlling. That's a controlling woman. That's not a nagging woman. Because, you know, sometimes I've seen men reference women that is on them because they want to see them do better and they see their flaws in them, and because they don't recognize it, and because you're trying to push them to be somewhere, they're a nagger.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They're a nagger. You just got this description, angry black woman, all you do is nag.
Dysfunctional is right. I'm not gonna lie, Dysfunctional is right. It takes two for a marriage, so I think that a lot of men don't honor that commitment. Hence, women are afraid or consider it to fail. And that's right. That's right. Calvin over the top.
Well, I mean, sometimes some people have to continue to say.
He got to come on the mic and say it.
There's a mic right here. Come on over here. Come on over here, sit at the table. He coming. We getting him to come to the mic.
Almost 11 minutes. Go get on that mic until I get there, babe.
Yeah, come on.
Go around there.
Welcome to the show.
Yeah.
The man behind the scenes is now seen. Y'all get to see him in the camera.
That's not what being equally yoked means, Fatima. Being equally yoked, to be yoked means to be bound. That's what being yoked means. You read any biblical definition of yoke, yoke means to be bound. That means being equally bound to each other. That's all that means. Now, it's not a real deep thing. We're not balancing each other out. You're not the yin to my yang. We're just bound to the same extent to each other.
Okay, Calvin, now you on now say what you were saying in the background when I said nagging.
It's about how many times have you said it?
Well, so I can see that. I can see that, but what, like, answer this though. I get what you're saying, because if you're repeating yourself, it does become a nagging experience. But if you're in a relationship to where you continue to have to say it, and that means it's a problem. So at some point, where do you let the relationship go? 9 times out of 10, they don't, because they're thinking that they can change a person that don't want to be changed. And then you ultimately wait too late and they go on for so long. Then you created the frustration, and then sometimes it turned to abuse. Sometimes it's turned to cheating, because you now like, I can't take this anymore. But you ain't recognize what she's trying to say. And I think it's more or less because you're not listening. So
when it comes to nagging, you're better off letting go and let God. But your nagging is doing nothing. Mm-hmm. It's going to create an issue. Yeah. But you've reached a point to where you don't care. You just feel like you got to keep. You just got to let them know how you feel. Feel like you need to get it out, but it's not going to do anything.
So at that point, what you're saying is that's where you should be like, okay, now this is something I got to let go, because it's important to me, but not important to him. Mm-hmm. So this is the drawing point. You know what? You've done all you can, so this got to be gone.
I didn't say that. But you can always pray about it.
Well, I'm just saying after you've done, after you've done all of that,
you got to stop nagging.
Let me say this.
So, but what if you done went to God and you prayed about it and you're still not getting results?
Your nagging ain't gonna do nothing. Still.
So just step away, right?
Yeah.
I'm saying not to nag.
Then what do you do though?
Why is nagging the only option?
What's the other option? I'm just saying, what do you do if you say nagging is not going to change and don't do it? What would you suggest you do?
Counseling.
Okay.
Trying to figure out another way, a different approach.
Okay.
Not saying you got to stop communicating.
Right.
But figure out a different approach. If it means that much to you, then you should put that much thought into figuring out how to reach them. I'm telling you, nagging's not it.
Right.
No.
I agree. Now, what if a person have done all of that?
Then you got to let them do them.
That's what I believe.
On whatever that is.
So again, that's what a lot is going on. Some people have tried almost every different approach to see what they can do to get this person to understand where they're coming from, but that person does not want to change. And that's why I said a decision at that point has to be made, like, you know what, you go your way and I go my way, because this is important to me. And if we're connected, what's important to me should be important to you, and what's important to you should be important to me. And we should be able to come together and come to some common ground with it, you know, to where we can still, you know, operate in this household and be functional instead of non-functional. But that doesn't always happen. People stay in because of history. Oh, we've been together for 30 years, so I don't want to let it go. Or because, oh, he makes the money and I'm not working, so what I'm going to do? You get caught up in these situations and scenarios to where you cause bigger problems because that person know that they have the power over you. Because guess what? I'm the breadwinner. You know what I'm saying? Or either we've been together this many years, they got a hold on you, whether it's woman or male. And I think sometimes we don't, you know, have enough.
Well, so let me ask you this. Why does actual nagging begin? What is the source of nagging?
Miscommunication.
General.
I think it's miscommunicating. Like you don't understand.
Try again. No, everybody here has nagged somebody on something. It's not from miscommunication.
Well, for me, I think it could be a part of miscommunication because that's just like, okay, say you're my husband. I say, hey, can I get you to put your clothes in that hamster, not on the floor? You see what I'm saying? I've just communicated to you what I needed you to do because I'm tired of picking up them clothes. Right. I go in there again tomorrow, and another day they still there. You still in the habit of doing that. Okay, it got to be a miscommunication problem. Okay, sir, do you need the color to be, the basket need to be black, blue, yellow, green? What's going to make you put it in there?
But it's not miscommunication.
That is.
When you get repetitive, it's one, because you're not seeing you're not seeing them any change, and you're fed up. So now sometimes people do it on purpose just because.
Oh, wow.
No?
Okay.
No?
I don't never nag just because. I don't even want to talk if I don't have to. Like, I'm not going to nag.
That's a personal thing.
Yeah, it is a personal thing. You're absolutely right. But for me, I'm not a nag. I'm going to say what I say, mean what I say. And if you don't bust a move and do what I need to do, guess what? I'm going to make the decision.
So when you don't see a change, you get more and more repetitive.
I don't. I let it go.
You don't ever nag?
No. I'm not fist to. Look, I love me. Mm-hmm. It's people dying every day for underlying conditions for us, heart attacks and stress. I work too hard every day to be the best me. I'm not fist to tell you as a grown person when I done came to you and said, hey, this bothers me, can you do this? And you repeatedly still do what you want. You just showed me that you don't care what's important to me.
So you don't nag?
No, I don't. You can ask.
Well, then this question not for you. Because the question was, why do people start to nag?
Okay. Okay. I just gave my opinion of what it means, though.
But you don't nag.
I don't, because why?
Can y'all tag it? Can y'all comment on this thing? I mean, we need some help on this question.
So you nag? You nag?
I've nagged before.
Why, though? Why did you nag?
It's because, like I said,
who nag?
When people get fed up with not seeing any change, it's a simple answer. You don't see any change, you get more repetitive.
You get more aggravated.
Okay, I can see it. But why did you nag? Why you just didn't step away?
Because it's easier said than done. As we all mature, let me speak. I got you. As we mature in communication, not everybody knows every proper way to communicate in every single situation. You nag, you learn, you grow, you move on. You don't nag again. I don't nag my entire life, but you're asking me, have I ever nagged in my life? Yeah.
But when you say nagging is something that you continue to do, you said you've done it before, but you've grown from it, right?
Right.
So that means almost everybody, like you said, is nagged and they've grown from it. But at what point, when he said that nagging, a person that nags all the time, at what point do you cut it off?
That's not the question.
Oh, no. She's referring to when Shelvin was saying it's better to be alone than to be with somebody that nags.
Right.
So that's what she's referring to. She's saying that at one point, when do you get to a point where you're like, okay, I'm done? If you rather not be in a relationship with somebody who nags, when do you get to a point where you're like, okay, it's time for me to exit? That's what she's saying.
Right.
When? For me, it took me a bit to get there because I got a lot of patience. And so I'll be like, okay, I'll tell you, and I'll wait. I'm looking, okay, I'm taking, I'll wait. Eventually I would get aggravated. And then once I get to a point where I've made a decision that this is not worth my energy anymore, then I start stepping back. And then I leave. There you
made
are.
it to the show. Hey. Y'all done made it from the flight.
How y'all doing?
Doing well. Good to see you. Glad y'all made it here safely.
Right there by the door.
Yeah, so for me, I mean, I don't consider myself as a nagger because for me, I'm not going to go back and forth. I feel like a nagging is almost like you're arguing with a person. And it's not necessarily that.
Arguing with yourself.
Oh, arguing with, yeah. I'm just not going to be able to do that.
Receptive.
So what do you feel like is a resolution for this? So just back up, leave it alone, don't even do it.
I guess it depends on the person. For me and my personality and the person that I am, and I'm just saying that I've been to a place to where I've had to repeat myself a couple of times. I'm not going to say that I've had everything perfect, but to me, I don't consider that as nagging. And so,
well, yeah, so you mentioned that a couple of times. That's not nagging. That's not nagging at all. But when it's like he was saying, when you have to continue to be on the same thing, to me, it's more annoying to myself if I have to keep doing that than it is to the other person. Because there's a certain level of frustration that is going to show. But it's never been something that I was like, well, this is. Okay, let me back up. That has a lot to do with communication and action.
Right.
Because if I communicate something to you and then you choose not to act or show that you're understanding what I'm saying and move on it, that is one part of communication. And the second part is once I get to a level that I'm frustrated, communicating to you properly is not going to happen.
Right.
Because now I'm angry, there's animosity.
Mm-hmm.
So now communication is going to fail. And there could be actions that follow this. Some people are more physical. They throw something at you. Some people, it might ignite certain, for the other person, they might just get tired of hearing about it. So they might get angry. So being able to effectively communicate and come to one page is a big part of it. But because a lot of people can't come to that common page, people step away because they get exhausted with being unheard.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's just better to step back.
So I'm hearing what you're saying, but I mean, is nagging really based on what's going on in that current moment, or have you just lost, let's say, what's the word for confidence in this individual and in their purpose? Because a lot of times, clothes on the floor, forks left on the kitchen table, these things are very small when you're dealing with a person who's still chasing that purpose with a fire in them. I don't believe that nagging actually comes from just these small, mediocre little items. I think nagging comes from when a female or a male starts to look at their potential soulmate or whatever y'all want to call it. I call it spouse or husband or wife. And they see that purpose that they started with is not lit anymore. They don't have that drive anymore. They're not trying to chase something anymore. So now you're not looking at just these small little things just starting to add up to what you're already feeling. So now I think the source of nagging is not just the little stuff like get your clothes off the floor. I don't think it's that.
I think it's a buildup of a lot of different things that have happened, and now it's just like I've pointed out too much. Like at some point, when are you going to own responsibility of what needs to be done? It's when a person lacks responsibility for me.
Stagnation.
Yeah,
in a relationship.
Yeah, like I'm constantly going up, and you staying here because you're comfortable.
Now we get into the meat of it.
Yeah, so it can be. Yeah. I do see that because again, if you're supposed to be equally yoked, then you grow together.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of times, and you keep going, and it doesn't necessarily mean that I gotta be in your world. If you want to be a DJ, oh, now I need to get in the music industry. No, you just need to keep meeting, those levels. Right. I can't meet you, and when we first started, you was making 20,000, and we 10 years in the game, you're making 21. Like, at what point do you want more?
Right.
But I'm constantly moving up. I'm just saying, what point do you want more? That was a good example. You see what I'm saying?
Right,
because
right.
At some point, I don't care what nobody says, communication and finances is big in any relationship, friendship, courtship, marriageship, whatever.
Hey, Jesus talked a lot about it.
So for me, communication one and finances. And the finances part, like you got to, and with finance, each person have to keep climbing the ladder. If you are, you know where you weak at, you know where you need to grow at as an individual. Mm-hmm. It is your responsibility to make those weaknesses stronger and also to grow where you know that you need to grow. So it's not my responsibility.
Right. But instead of nagging about these little items, why don't we just come to the table and put it all on the table?
Some of those conversations actually do be had, and that person still feel that they don't put fire up under them. They still, it's 6 months later. We just talked about.
You sound like you're speaking from experience.
I am. Hey, I am speaking from experience. You've had a situation to where, okay, we talked about what you wanted to do in your career and where you want to be in this amount of time. Mm-hmm. But what steps are you doing? I'm constantly hearing you say, I'm tired of this job. I'm doing this and this, that, and this. You see what I'm saying? But you keep coming to me about it and we talk about it, but you have not made no step towards doing something different to put you in a better position. But you want to hold me accountable for you not making a move.
I think that's an old dying moment. Because you started out somewhere, and somewhere along the line, somebody got comfortable at a certain level.
Absolutely.
And not just comfortable, they got complacent.
Right.
And now you're still trying to progress, but instead of getting where you're trying to go at the speed that you were going, now you feel like a tugboat.
Right.
So yeah, that's the source of nagging.
Right.
Like, that's what we need to talk about.
Right.
Because why are women so nag? Why are black women mostly considered the angry black woman?
Right.
It's because y'all know where we're trying to go. And I mean, we can't
Most women try to push the man to go that way. But because based off what you come tell us, this is what you want to do. But when we start to put the fire up under you.
Well, it depends on what kind of fire you putting.
Well, what I'm saying is you came to me and said this X, Y, Z, and this is what I want to do because I'm tired and this and that. It has been so, I've also in previous relationships before I've gotten married, that in that relationship, this person said, well, I'm trying to find a job, this and that. It had got to where I applied. I'm starting applying for you.
I've done that.
You see what I'm saying? Just wrong. To do the extra thing, which is wrong. You definitely right. Wrong. I've learned like, you know what? You ain't putting no effort in yourself. So nagging come behind and you told me what you wanted. But this is the also thing. You know how many men do not know how to fill out an application or let alone know how to hold an interview or do that stuff, but they see women, we do it all the time, and we try to coach them through that thing and tell them.
Mocked interviews.
Yeah, and things like that. So we doing everything we can because you come that's telling us this is what you want, and we go overboard when it comes, like, that's when the nurturing of the woman come in for that man, and we hinder them. Mm-hmm. Like I was a hindering when I started filling out those applications for you.
Right.
And you know, calling those people, say, here, call now, call between us, and sitting right there with you, hindering you.
Right.
But you didn't see that. You thought you was helping because you're trying to put fire up under them, and then it comes to those situations. You know, that then nagging set in because if I'm not here with you doing it, you're not doing it. Long as I'm here, you putting the effort, but you can't do it on your own.
So where did the wrong perspective of this individual's character come in at?
I think it came from upkeep, you know, the upbringing. No one was in the place to show
him. Yeah, but I'm talking about when you noticed it.
When I noticed it, it was just.
Were you already too deep in the relationship?
Absolutely.
See, that's where we got to talk about that too. You can't get so deep in a relationship where, man, look, we got to get to these comments. It's going down in the chat, man. I was on the chat. I was reading the chat comments on the way here. Yeah. We finna get there, but we got to talk about that too because you got to go through the proper steps, just like we were talking about with the kids in the step parents or whatever parent we want them to be, whatever. It's a process that has to be had.
Absolutely.
We can't skip it. And a lot of times we skip over that, and I'm not saying that these are things that we know. These aren't things that we have been taught.
Right.
Like we are really just winging it.
Right.
We're winging it as a people.
Absolutely.
We're trying to figure this stuff out as we go. And so I'm not putting anybody down, but the only way I would put anybody down is when you're not trying.
Absolutely.
To get yourself together.
Absolutely.
If you stop trying, then okay, the only thing be the failure is a try.
Right, but how can you nag at a person that's trying though?
You can't.
You can't. So that's
what I'm saying.
Yeah, so that's where it comes from when a person's not putting their good foot forward to do the best that they can, and it's a build-up over time, and then that's when the nagging come in, so you say, or, the confrontation and, all the disagreements come in. But we do stay in it too long.
I never talked about nagging. I actually joined in on it. We were talking about whose position is whose. Now we're talking about this nagging stuff. That wasn't my part of the conversation. You said
it, though. No, you said it. You said you'd rather be in a corner.
Yeah, but that was based off of what was already being said.
Right.
I had to chunk that Bible scripture in there. That was based off of what already was being said.
So we just got into it.
I see. We got into it, and y'all done pulled everybody else in here too. Look. Ryan say nagging is from a build-up of several instances or things have occurred in the relationship. Now, a lot of nagging comes from actual situations of infidelity too.
That's true.
And the woman doesn't really, hadn't really forgiven the man, or the man hadn't really forgiven the woman, and they still on that test mode. I want to see if they go, all that stuff. But it's different circumstances when it comes to nagging. But at the end of the day, it's a source of something, and it's not just you leaving your clothes on the floor.
No, I just made that as an example of a repeated.
Yeah, but we teaching. Yeah, we open up minds now.
Yeah, it's bigger than that. Trust me, if you done got to nagging about some clothes on the floor, it's a whole bunch of other stuff that's underlying that's going on in the household or relationship to where that's just adding to it.
Yeah.
But let me ask you a question though, as a man and I'm a woman, and why is it that when your significant other, a woman, sometimes, and you may have not had this issue going on in your marriage or relationship, why is it that for men it's hard for you guys to be receptive of when a woman is trying to tell you what they feel is going on when y'all having a conversation? Because some people turn it into, you think you know everything, or she's trying to control me, or you want me to do what you want to do. But if I'm your significant other and I see Calvin. XYZ, is it okay? Is it Calvin. Not okay for me to tell you how I feel?
Calvin, step up.
Come on, Calvin.
He raised his hand. He got it.
One word. Delivery.
Delivery. Okay.
Not what you want to tell me, but
how you tell me. I get
right.
it. Yeah. I can get that, because sometimes depending on what you got going on in your life, you can deliver that wrong. And I've probably been very I done did that a lot.
And I'm gonna tell you why most women do it. Most women wait till they're at their wit's end before they say something about stuff. Probably not you. But most women will let it build up before they say something about it. By the time they say something about it, it's about to come out so disrespectful.
Or they had a bad day and just so happened you came in the wrong thing said, and the build up,
It's a build up. It's still a build up. Yeah. And so a lot of times we got to learn how to stop stuff at the front door. If we're going to have healthy relationships, men and women, we got to learn to stop stuff at the front door. And men, we got to do better at listening to those conversations without words. We got to get better at looking at our woman and reading her body language.
Absolutely.
Reading her facial expressions. Reading her moves and how her habits are going, huh? That's love language. And we was going to talk. It's so big. We was going to talk about that during the Labor Day, but, unforeseen circumstances happened, so we wasn't able to get into that. But we're going to get into that because this is what this is going to lead us into. Love languages, right? Because we're going to have to talk about whose love languages is what. Everybody's love language is different.
It is. And it's important that you know your partner's love language so you know how to love them in the right magnitude to, keep them, your attention. Because to me, let me tell you something. I don't have ADD, I don't think, but look, let me tell you, it is a couple of things that's an automatic no for me, goodbye. You ain't got to worry with them. I don't care how many years I've been with you. It's just my love language is security. If you start messing with my security, my household and finances and money, guess what? We're not even going to play those games.
Let me go to the comments real quick. Rye says, everyone's growth level is different, even your soulmate. Because there may be something the other person has to experience along the way.
Absolutely.
Are they comfortable or do they need help with getting where they're trying to go and don't know how to effectively communicate that?
I think effective communication is key too, because sometimes we don't. I had to learn how to communicate. I was a big person that had to learn how to communicate, because I'm going to tell you that communication for me was hard, and I had to learn. My sister can tell you this, because I was a straight, like, I don't care, it ain't happening. Like, I had the effort in me with everything. And I had a get back spirit. You do it, okay, I'm going to show you.
For you. We go pray.
But no, I'm not like that anymore, but that's how I was. I had to learn what my flaws were, because I was a person like, you know what, effort. If it didn't go my way, it was this. And if you did something to me, I'm going to get you back. Wait for it.
My God.
So I had to grow and understand that ain't the way of doing things. You know what I'm saying? There. So it's a lot that, like she said, effective communicating, because I wasn't a good communicator. And communication is good. You have to communicate.
It is. It's the key. What they say, communication rule the nation.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a key. It's a key. It's a very important key. But it's more than just words.
It is.
Communication is there's different levels to it. Dunshell says, why do men get comfortable, hence women nagging? Why do men get comfortable? I'm not sure if she's asking, why do men get comfortable?
Can you elaborate, Dunshell?
Yeah. Please elaborate a little bit more on that one. I want to make sure I answer the question as best I can. You know, I'm representing for the man up here. Right? We represent for the bros up here, man. We got to make sure we represent right. I don't want to tell you nothing wrong. Deisha say those mask people were. She also says you have to put in the effort first.
You do. Effort has to be put in. But that starts with each individual recognizing where they need to change it. You know, because
that's
it can't
what she
be
said.
just
she
one
said, how
person.
did you come to that person?
Yeah.
How did you come to them? Just think about it real quick. And all of the time that you came to the person with a serious, all right, this was on my mind, this was on my heart. Where were you at emotionally when you came?
Probably not in a good spot. I know for me, because I'm a person.
Yeah, I'm looking right at you.
Okay, I was just waiting because I'm waiting for my turn.
Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, I'm waiting.
I really want to hear her answer.
When it fits. Usually when I'm confronting somebody, I'm usually really I've already thought about it. What I'm going to say, when I'm going to say, how I'm going to say it. I've already done that. So for me, if I've come to you one time and I come to you the right way, I'll come to you third, a second, a fourth, a fifth. But by the time I get to 6 and there's no change, that's going to aggravate the heck out of me. And so now what that does for me is like, what happens is I'll become explosive. Like, it aggravates me. So I step off. That means walking. It means not talking. You may not speak to me for a couple of days because I'm at a point where I'm ready to go off. And before I go off, everybody knows how I used to go off.
So
before I get there, I just step off. Yeah.
You step off now, but before, what was your reaction?
No, it's like, okay, I've already did all these steps. It's time to explode. It's time to scream about it. It's time to get mad about it. And that just didn't get anywhere. And I'm the one that I'm the one that feels drained after something like that happens. So my choice is now I just end up walking away from it.
Are you coming to them in a way that you would have someone come to you, or are you coming to them in a way that you understand someone needs to come to them?
Yeah, in that sense, yeah, calmly. I always come everything calmly.
Come to them.
Yeah, when I'm going to them, I come the way I want to be received. Does that make sense?
Right, but what I'm saying is,
you can't come to me and yell at me.
Right, that's you. That's what I'm saying. But are you coming to them in a way that they can receive it? Because this is the world that we live in today. Today, most young boys grew up in a house where the mother is yelling at them, and she'll say, "Y'all don't hurt me unless I'm cussing at y'all and yelling."
Yep.
And so when kids are raised like that, guess what's created? A man that don't hear.
To be yelled. Oh, see, I'm not about to do all that.
Yeah, but see, this is where nagging comes. See, it's so many different angles from this situation that we're dealing with.
Yeah.
When you got to realize the kids are raised and conditioned by the first time they hear your voice, all the way up to.
I remember saying, "Now you hear me because I'm yelling. Now you can hear.
You see what I'm saying?
But see, once I'm there, there's no coming down.
But see, you got to be able to assess a person and see how they were raised and see how they receive. And if they receive like that and you don't deliver like that, then it's just not going to work.
Yeah, it's like a mouse talking to a.
You understand what I'm saying? Now, some women are happy. I will meet you where you at. Come on. You understand what I'm saying? But there are aggressive. It's rare, but there are certain individuals that can actually have an intellectual conversation with you, and we can meet. All right, we can walk away from this. I got what I need to get. You got what you need to get, and we're going to better ourselves. And there's some individuals that just don't have it.
The action just doesn't happen. It's not that when you're speaking to this person or whatever, when I'm speaking to somebody.
Hold on, you was going to say these. What was coming after these?
These people.
Oh, okay, I thought you were
like
say
anybody that I have to approach it a certain way. When I say when I have to approach people in that way, most people walk away with the understanding. We walk away with the plan. The problem is when I walk away from something and I have a plan, it's action right after.
Right.
When there's no action, like to me, that means you didn't hear nothing I said. We just wasted an hour or 30 minutes talking, rationalizing about whatever, and coming to a resolution for only one person to come out doing whatever needs to be done to help us move forward.
Right.
That's a level of frustration. When I get there, I'm there.
That's the tugboat.
Yeah.
Now you're tugging.
Yeah.
I get it. Calvin says, is nagging meant to be motivational?
No.
Or is nagging a process for the other person to feel like they have done all they can?
Yeah, I think it's that. Like, nagging happens when you feel like you've done everything you're supposed to do. Now you're doing whatever. You're throwing it. You're screaming it. That's like, okay, I've already done everything I could do. Now I'm just pissed off.
Right.
Yeah.
I think nagging has come after you done tried everything.
You did everything
and so
you could do.
That goes back to what Calvin said. Why nag? Might as well just leave it alone.
Yeah.
If you've done everything, nagging ain't finna happen.
Absolutely. He was right with that. That's why I say good day.
Accept the things you cannot change.
But then is it okay because you accept the things you cannot change, right? But that means if I'm coming to you, there's something that's important to me. And we're in this relationship and we're supposed to respect the importance of each other. And you're choosing to feel like it's not important to you and you don't want to do it. And we're not even, it becomes to a point to where you got to nag about it, right? And he said, why nag? And that's right. Why nag? Then why not walk away?
I mean, is it at the point where you need to walk away?
If it's got to a nagging point, to me, it's a walk away. Because the next thing is, it's going to be verbal or physical abuse going on at that point. Ain't nothing going to be right. I ain't never heard a person nag and it's right.
It can get
to an ugly level.
Climbing, so.
Well, why don't you go to that individual and tell them, hey, I'm this close to just walking away from it.
Well, what I'm saying is by the time it got to nagging, I would have hoped that you went that far.
We black folks like to surprise each other when it comes to the walking away. You go to work, come home, everything gone. We like to surprise each other. We do not do anything healthy.
That is not a surprise.
Oh yeah, it's a surprise. You might not take it. I knew she would go. I knew it was possible, but I didn't think it would actually happen. That's a surprise.
I tell you what, that last marriage, I sure did surprise the heck out of.
Oh, so that's why it's not a surprise. You knew this was coming.
I said 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, right.
She done gave her a countdown. Girl, stop. Say, man.
But again, you caught all you could. You caught all you could, right? You hear me?
We can't keep doing this. We cannot keep doing this, man. We're just kicking ourselves in the butt.
But you know what? I hear more men say women are nagging, but I don't hear a lot of women say men nag. Do you?
Because men don't normally nag.
Y'all nag in a different way. If you ask me.
I nag. You can ask my wife.
It's a different way. It's just not verbal, but it's in a different way.
I don't nag, but I talk and I meet. I talk a lot.
She said, "Look, you heard what she said? You want to bring over here?"
Yeah, that's cool. I mean, she ain't gonna try to come over here, man. I would love for her to get on here, man, because man, y'all will get to meet me through her, and that's one person to meet. I'm telling you.
I know.
I love my relationship with my wife. She funny, but she real. She gonna tell y'all how I am. I can get to a point where it's repetitive. I can, but I'm not gonna stay there. After a minute, I'll start being the example of what I want to see.
Yeah.
And so you can respect that though when that happens, but a lot of times that don't happen. That's why the nagging city.
Well, that's why I'm saying marriage is totally different. That's why you have to gauge your partners really, really. You have to be willing to. It's not about happiness.
Right.
My wife's not happy all the time. Believe me, I know it. I'm not happy all the time. She knows it, but we go work together and we go fight together every second of the day.
But she's an active partner. She's gonna get in the ring with you.
Oh yeah, back to back. Sometimes we're in the ring facing each other. Quit playing.
A lot of people are in these rings, whether it's boyfriend, fiance, wife and husband, and it's only one active person,
right?
In that thing, the other person just
assess the individual. You got to know who go fight for you.
Yeah. But you know what? Sometimes in the beginning, it's always good. That's why we choose to marry.
Yeah.
You understand? That's why we choose to get in a relationship with a person. But then it starts to change, and you ask yourself, what happened? Why you change?
Complacency.
Yeah. So
that sets
in.
So you assess. That's why you chose to begin a relationship or to be married, because you didn't assess that person. But then something happened.
Yeah.
To change. It can be a circumstance. Because some things happen in people's lives. Because I knew a guy, and he's never been the same since he lost his mom. Like the way he thinks is different in everything. So that's why I say circumstance can change a person, and it does not. They don't come back from it.
Yeah, but they need to get counseling.
Absolutely, but they don't realize that, or if you bring that to them, because in the black community, you say counseling.
We're changing slowly, and I appreciate all of the individuals who are actually, taking into accountability to get counseling. We're changing that. We are, and I applaud them individuals. Yeah. I give y'all kudos because you're doing something that's going to better not just your life, but those lives of people who are around you. But just because they don't want counseling, just because they feel like counseling isn't going to help them, does not neglect the fact that counseling will. You know what I'm saying? And so, look. They don't want to. Sometimes you got to bring counseling to them. Hey, y'all, you want to look? Can I come over and have tea with you? I'm gonna bring a couple of my friends. You ain't never met them before, but they gonna be with me. I just want you to meet them. Sometimes you got to what? I will bring an intervention to your house because I love you so much. And if you really want to just fight with it, let's fight. But I'm gonna fight for you. Right. That's because that love I have for you is well past anything that you could expect from me. And it's so piss a lot of people off sometimes. Yeah. You will. Absolutely. Love goes past what you want it to be. Yeah. That's what love is. And sometimes you have to do that. Especially being who I am. Sometimes I have to see past what an individual wants and see what they truly need.
That's good. You do. Deisha said you can't fight in a ring alone.
You can. You just go look crazy. You call it shadow boxing. You get your practice on. But it's not good to do that in a relationship.
Man, Calvin.
Yeah, he going in. Calvin is very, very emotional about this nagging stuff, baby.
Men don't nag
you don't have to stand up.
Come on, he said men don't nag as much because nagging is an emotional response to a situation. Most men don't respond emotionally. Why though? If all people have emotions, why won't you respond?
Why is the second sentence?
Okay, we're trying to figure out how to fix the issue, not talk about fixing the issue. Okay, well, how long is it going to take you to fix it? That's something you think about. What's the appropriate? How long?
No, we're talking about why men don't nag women.
Well, you said you were trying to figure out how to fix the issue, not talk about fixing the issue. So how long?
If you're having a problem, I'm not going to nag you about you fixing it. I'm trying to figure out how to help you fix it. So there is no nag.
Then okay, that's good in the world that the people do that.
So you bringing a solution with your.
I'm saying, and I'm getting you to understand how men think.
Right.
Why men do it and women do it.
Okay. That's good. So now I know you don't nag. Y'all just sit there and be quiet.
Yeah.
Be quiet. And sometimes that quietness, excuse me, you don't hear me? So you ignoring me?
Shoot.
Because for me, you're going to have to speak or say something because that's a sense of annoyance to me. You liable to get walked up on, sir. Excuse me. You ignore me. Well, so it's again knowing your purpose.
You got to know the person that you know. You have to be able to deal with that and bring that to a place where you can, okay, I know what I need to do.
Silence kill though. For me, that silence, it hurts more than you hitting me. It do. I'd rather for you to hit me than be silent because you silent with me. That we finna go like, that really bothers me when you don't respond back to me. Now, if you want to get to me, don't say nothing to me. If I'm talking to you, just be mute because I don't understand that language. And being quiet ain't a form of communication to me, which it means something, I guess, but you can't be quiet if we having a conversation because I feel like you're ignoring me or you don't care. That's just how I take it. But a lot of people just don't like to talk about stuff. Like he said, they're processing and probably trying to figure it out. I didn't think about that part until he just said that. Mm-hmm. But to me, when a man is quiet, it's like, oh, you don't care.
No, it's not that.
That's how about you don't care what I'm saying to you?
Men are thinkers. And some of us think slower than others.
So it didn't register to me until, Karen just said that.
Slow.
Okay.
Well, y'all coming to us about fresh stuff that's fresh to us, but y'all been thinking about it for 2 days. You can't expect me to respond in 2 minutes, and you've been thinking about it for 2 days.
You're right, and that goes to what Donshell said. We come at you guys at the wrong time. We didn't let it build up. We didn't talked about it. We didn't already planned out what we finna do and how we finna do this. When I get home, get through cooking that meal, he come in and shower.
I'm telling you, y'all own it.
The whole conversation.
Y'all own it.
Right before he think he finna go play basketball or to the gym. He gonna go be angry at the gym today. He gonna put in some work when y'all get to before he goes, because I'm gonna make him have a reason to lift out on weights. He gonna be bench press 400 today.
And see, you already have the intention of knocking him off balance.
We do, and I'm telling you, I do.
Is it?
I used to be like that.
What? You ever been surprised? Yeah, you ever woke up in the morning? Look, you ever woke up in the morning on your way to the bathroom and hit your toe on the corner of that bed?
Oh, there you go.
That's how a man feel when a woman come to him like that and expect a quick answer. Like,
really?
Dang, I know. It hurt. It hurt. You gotta watch how you come to me.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Because I'm not even thinking about this. As a matter of fact, I'm thinking everything good. Dinner was good last night. Sure, we boom roomed it up. You ain't said nothing, but this is on your mind the whole time this going on. Because women know how to compose themselves so well that you would never know what's exactly on a woman's mind.
Well, we don't know exactly what's on you guys' mind either.
Yeah, but we don't come to y'all like that.
When that woman comes home and she cooks that meal, y'all get y'all thing, y'all do whatever. That's all of those are what we call that de-escalation. She's making sure that things are calm enough so that she can bring it to you.
Right.
It's not meant to just shake you up. She's doing things that should be calming. Boom.
That's backwards. Boom. Next time, come at me with the situation first, then do the cooking and the boom boom thing. Don't cook it and boom boom, then bam bam.
Why you can't boom boom after?
What?
Just fix it.
Just come to me. Men are great at confronting issues that are brought to them direct. We're not real good at that side swipe. I'm telling you, most men.
Well, sometimes maybe I'm gonna just say for me, if it's something that I need to address that's major, I have to have a way to digress it because I am the aggressor. You see what I'm saying?
So
I know
that's
I'm
all
aggressive.
for you. That has nothing to do with us.
It doesn't, but I have to de-escalate. Like, let me get my nerves where it needs to be first because it's not going to convey out right. So let me clean this house and put my bed right on, or some Aretha Franklin or somebody on, and clean this house and calm down a little bit. He gonna be here by 7:30. So Lord
have mercy.
The kids get out of practice by 8, so we got 30 minutes to hash this thing out.
Y'all done planned the attack.
We have to, because when you a strong individual like me, I know who I am. I'm gonna have to calm down because the approach is not gonna never be right if I don't.
That means you have to learn how to condition yourself to make right approaches.
That's me conditioning. Let me calm down.
Well, you got to get to where it's a second nature. Not just a.
So you rather for me, like if I get the news, rather for me to just say, because look at this, it ain't always the best time when I need to talk to you, because you may be at work or you may be driving home. I don't want to anger you driving home. You have an accident because you're not focused. I don't want to call you at your job when I first get this feeling that I need to talk to you because you're saying attack it, right?
Well, this is what you do.
Sometimes during that time, we have to wait till you to get there. We can't attack it immediately because the time may not be right for you, but it is for me because I got time. You ain't got time. So we got to wait till you get there. So during that process of you getting there, we cleaning and we digressing. Yeah, you see what I'm saying? It's not intentional. We're just de-escalating because we can't talk to you right now because we got enough respect for you to say, hey, we ain't going to call him on his job. I'm not going to make him angry while he going through traffic because I love him enough and I want him to get here. And me, I need to see your face. It's not necessarily premeditated how we were doing.
I'm not talking about when you get home, getting them to the house. You said when you get home, he gonna have a meal.
That's what you do because I'm cooking, de-escalate. I'm cooking, I'm cleaning, I'm doing my job.
That's not for him.
Why it's not?
I feel like
because you're de-escalating. He's not escalated.
Because
so
we have
basically calming herself down.
Right, that's for you. It has nothing to do with him.
Enough to tell him.
Right.
That has nothing to do with him, though.
But when you said it's a surprise, why is it a surprise like that?
Because he gets home after a good day or a bad day of work, you cooking this food, y'all having these great conversations, y'all going into this, and then right when he think everything is good.
So you're saying when he comes through the door, as soon as he comes, even though I'm de-escalating, when you come through that door, I need to say, hey, babe, X, Y, X, Y, before I hand you your plate.
Not just blah, 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 but hey, let me tell you something. I need to talk to you real quick before we eat dinner, before we sit down. Let's just sit right here and talk for a second.
Try this approach, and whenever I decide I'm going to be in one of those
because this is what's going to allow him to do. This is what's going to allow to happen.
I'm really going to try.
After you tell him that, what y'all got to do, y'all got to sit there and eat dinner together. That's giving him time to think about what you just said. So by the time y'all get to the room, he done already thought of a few scenarios, what's going to happen, what's going to go down.
So you giving him time.
You got to.
We giving you time to lie?
Got to. No, not to. Oh, Lord have mercy. Now you dealing with the wrong people. That's all that is. You dealing with the wrong people.
So what you got, to me,
but even if you catch him off, because we are man, we think. That's what we do. We need time to think about it. Now, if you saying I cheated, I probably won't need no time to think about that. Who told you this? Was it a man or a woman?
That's an instant.
Mean she was either trying to get me or he was trying to get you, boo. I don't need to think about that.
Okay.
But if it's something like, look, I just got this situation coming from the hospital, and I need to tell you what's going on with me. He needs time to think about that because he has to. It's different. The situation is different. I can't have babies, or I gotta have ovarian surgery, or something like that. I gotta.
I can see you having the process in that.
That's what I'm saying, though. That's what I'm saying, though. These are the different things of how you approach a man.
Well, yeah.
You get what I'm saying?
I can get
and you can't come to him about cheating like, nigga, I know you did. You was looking that up. You can't come at him like that either. Like, y'all.
Listen, that woman had all day to think about what she needed.
And that's what the problem is. Y'all wait all day thinking about this stuff, cleaning up. You get home, the house is super clean. She done put all the muscle in it. I can't wait to listen. See what I'm saying?
But
again, that's nothing to do with him, though.
But again, we can't. You rather for me when I get the news to just call you on your job while you work and say, man,
I'm saying you can wait till he get home. But don't, cater and all that stuff before you let him know what's going on. He's already in work mode anyway. Might as well give him that information right then. His mind already working.
Don't
let his mind calm down and then hype it back up.
So you just told me don't even cook no meal that day if it's already.
Nah, I didn't say don't cook. Don't say that. I didn't say don't cook. I'm just saying leave the food in the oven a little while longer. Well, I swear to God, process the situation. Give him time to process. That's Oh Lord have mercy.
I'm gonna tell him next time. You know what? You might want to go grab your food before you get to the house.
See, you gonna be mad when he come home and you done cook that big old meal and dude got a piece in his hand.
That's fine, because I'm gonna have one too.
We can't keep doing this like this. We can't keep.
Well, you had the scenario.
We can't keep doing this like this, though. Okay. But the thing about it is, whose position is whose. It's not whose title is whose. We started out talking about titles. Yeah. Because titles is what everybody seems to live for in this world. Mm-hmm. Everybody wants a title, but nobody wants to own what everything it takes to acquire this title.
Absolutely.
And that's why it's so hard for, people to actually be step parents. Because y'all want them to live without a title, but actually do everything that requires a title. And it's a problem to those who are good parents. It's not a problem to those who are bad parents. You go to a Negro or a Negress and ask them, hey, is it a problem with your child calling this man mama or daddy and you ain't in their life? She gonna say, she can call them whatever they want. I don't deal with them anyway. It's only different when it comes to good parents.
I'm a good parent. It don't matter to me.
Yeah, it matters because you just said I don't want that boy calling his spouse mama.
What I'm saying is I am the only mother, and that is what it is. How you get two mamas?
Well, once he got married, he got two mamas. The Bible.
No, he didn't.
Oh,
he didn't get
Lord,
no two mamas. That's
mercy.
A stepmother.
No, that's not. That's a mother-in-law. There ain't no stepmother.
Mother. Well, I'm saying a mother. I'm just saying. Yeah. You the step.
Well, I heard what I'm talking. Going back to what you were saying earlier.
Well, yeah, I meant that. I'm not the mama. That's not going to
I
change.
get that you're the only mother. I get that. You're the only birth mother. You're the only biological mother. I get that. But the Bible says when a man gets married, he leaves his mother and his father, and him and his wife become one.
They don't neglect that you only got one mother.
Yeah, okay. Listen, that's his mother-in-law.
That's a mother-in-law.
He can call her mama.
He can call her Miss whoever.
I call my mother-in-law mama.
That's fine. That's what you.
But I'm saying you telling me that Kiki there won't be able to call this woman mama.
Look, let me tell you something.
If they call her mama in front of you, what's gonna go down?
It's gonna be a problem.
Oh Lord, have mercy.
And I'm not
Kiki, I'm gonna pray for y'all. Y'all call me if y'all have a situation. I got a fast truck. We go scoop up and get out. We getting ghosts because this woman is tripping up here.
No. I'm not tripping. What I'm saying is, I'm not going to be aggressive with anything, but am I going to feel some type of way about it? Yes, I am, because I truly believe that titles are titles. You have to act into it. I'm not saying that true enough that when he married, he's going to have a stepmother. A mother-in-law. He does have that. But that's what she is, a mother-in-law. She's not your mother. So she needs to be called Miss whoever or whatever. Like, that's my title. I've worked for that, and I have the right to feel that way. Now, if they choose to do that... Well, if
he gets married, you did a good job.
If he chooses to do that...
you did a good job.
Right, but if he chooses to call the next woman his wife, mother, then that is something he's comfortable with, but he knows I feel some type of way about it. I'm not going to never disrespect it, but my kids know how I feel about their title. Mm-hmm. I'm not going to just disown him or go off on him and nothing like that. I'm not going to do that. It just would be, I would feel some type of way.
But why come you can't just be comfortable in the fact that knowing that if he got married, that means he's responsible enough to be the husband of a woman.
Right, but that don't mean that he got to call her mama.
That means you did a good job.
I already know I did a good job. Ain't nobody got to tell me that.
Good.
I know all my experiences. Ain't nobody got to tell me. But like I say, I'm going to have a problem with it. I'm not going to disrespect him or that, and I'm going to, it'll probably take me a while to get it. But I'm just saying, for me, it's a no.
I can dig that. Look, Shaniqua talk about, yes, Cornella. Lord have mercy. We go pray for both of y'all.
But why though? Why should that person be okay?
Your son and your daughter, hers, they should have the right to do that without you having a problem with it because it's already ordained.
The position is ordained as a stepmother. As a mother-in-law. Then nowhere in the Bible said he had to call her mother. He can treat her like a mother.
But you said if he chose to, you'd have a problem with it.
And another thing, I don't think he would actually call the other person mama unless she shows him some type of motherly.
And it would never take your title or your position. I'm not
saying that I know that. Ain't nobody going to never take the position, but I just don't feel that need to be a title now.
What you got, Calvin?
Titles don't matter.
I thought, yeah. What are we talking? And she is going in about this.
I don't want my children calling somebody else. That's a
contradiction.
I don't want that. It's more so a respect thing.
Exactly. It's coming from a mutual respect.
Yes, but that's not just mom respect.
You said what now?
By sharing mama, you're giving them the same respect as you?
Yes.
No way. No way. That's not happening. I'm married. Listen, I'm a married man.
I understand it. I'm a married woman.
It's not that I'm giving more respect to either one. I promise you. It's just I am honoring their position. Because without my mother-in-law, it wouldn't be no wife.
I get everything you're saying.
Yeah, but you're not accepting it.
I'm not going to. I'm letting you know that.
Ooh, Lord, I'm gonna pray for them kids. I'm gonna pray for them.
And they still gonna be good kids.
Pray for them kids.
They still gonna be good kids. But
what I'm saying is this: titles do not matter.
It don't matter.
But we can't put down certain titles for the selfish contentment of ourselves. That's why you got all of these people out here not doing what they want to do. It's a lot of people that want to do this stuff, but they don't even feel like they're going to be respected in the title.
Well, respected in the title and calling a person mother is different. They need to respect her as a mother, but you don't have to call her mother. I expect you to respect her as a mother as she is, but you don't have to call her your mother because she's not your mother.
He's not calling.
When he called her mama, to me, what is a mother?
So when he does this, what is that going to create in you?
it's not going to create any animosity. It's going to be like, you know how I feel about that. Why do you do that? See, this is the thing. I have said, and it's to each his own. It is honestly to each his own. I've set my children down and told them how serious I am about being their mother because, see, I had kids at 15, 2, starting out. It's a history behind it. I gave up all me to give to you. I did that, not your mother-in-law.
Ooh, Rod say titles are earned.
You understand that?
Because
I earned
some
the
parents
right.
don't deserve the title because they haven't been good parents.
And you know what? That's probably where I'm coming from with that. I've earned my title. She ain't earned to be your mother because you married. She earned to be her mama because that's who her mama is. She earned that role, that place. So thank you, Rosalind, because that's exactly how I feel that it has to be earned. And I've earned my title as a mother for my kids. So I deserve to be called mother and mother only.
So the step parent doesn't earn it?
What she's saying, it shouldn't be used loosely.
There you go, loosely, because some people just call everybody.
It shouldn't be loosely.
Earned it, that means you cannot earn it.
Right.
As a parent.
So that means that as a stepfather, he can earn the father.
Yes, you can't. I just said the child. I never said he cannot, as a stepfather, earn being a father. It's the child's decision of whether you call him stepfather or father or dad.
I get that.
Based on the relationship,
Ages, you got to give him guidance to who he is.
Absolutely.
They're not old enough to fathom to call him whatever.
Right. But there's a lot of parents that force it though, regardless.
Some that force it.
So again, it's the thing, like I said, it's the thing of in a relationship or let's say marriage, when you take on, like, let's speak directly to you as being a stepfather. And I think you're an amazing person. You're married to my cousin, and I've seen nothing but good things come from you. And
Love her to death.
I think you are an amazing mate for her.
I appreciate that.
You know, and I know that without a shadow of a doubt, she tremendously loves you, and you guys are doing great things with those boys. However, you're in your situation and how you came in, it's being earned. I can't say you're not earning that position as their father. But what I'm saying is that it should be the child decision of whether they call you dad or not.
Well, yeah, I understood the assignment, though.
So, exactly. But there's a lot of people that feel like because they're dating this person, they automatically get that title of being, you need to call him dad. Or it's expected. Or a lot of men come in feeling like they feel, I pay the bills, I do it for that, I take you to school, I do this, your dad and I need to be called dad.
Well, that comes from a place where those men wasn't respected most of their life. And they trying to get respect in another position in somebody else's life. You know, a lot of those dudes are rookie cookies, what I call them, you know, L7s or what we call, can I call in? Ooh, Disha want to call in. Yeah, Kyle Cornell phone.
Okay, call my phone.
We got some call-ins going on.
Wait a minute.
Disha say my bonus son calls me mom and his mother knows
that bonus stuff, I can't get it. Jiggy. Me and my sister just had a conversation about that. That's extra.
Oh my God. Cornell is not
that bonus. What is a bonus kid? That seems like I'm a burden.
Burden? No. Why do you put yourself down like that? Like, why do you feel like you're fighting for something that you own?
No, you can't. When you're in a relationship with someone, in a marriage with someone, and they have other kids, that's not a bonus kid.
I mean, some people can look at it like that.
They do, but I'm just saying, it's nothing wrong with it. I'm just saying, from my point of view, bonus, I wouldn't. That's just,
they looking at it as an ad. You added to me.
You gotta give her your number.
No,
you know what I'm saying? You added to me. That's all that is.
I get it.
Now some kids become a liability, not an asset.
Okay, Disha, you on, girl?
Okay, my thing of it is, bonus is not.
Bear with us one moment.
Hold on, there it is.
I didn't give him birth, but he is a bonus to me. Because some people you can be married to have children and married to that family, you hate that kid. And you don't feel like that's a bonus. You feel like, oh no, I lost in it. So my thing of it is, bonus is not a bad word. I love my son. He is, I don't believe in step nothing, because I ain't stepping on nothing. So I don't believe in the word step. That is my son. When I introduce him, that is my son. But if you know I didn't birth him, yeah, that is my bonus son, because I didn't have him. So you got to learn how you entitle the word to understand the word. So it's not meant to be in a negative light. That is a bonus to me. That's a plus to me. He's added to me. That's how I look at it. So don't consider bonus as a word that is negative, because it's not.
I didn't say it
Bonus
was.
is
It just
add.
don't work for me.
I'm just saying. So, but that's your opinion of it. But
Absolutely.
don't try
She'll
to
say, I hate bonus.
that. And then, but the thing of it is, because if you look, what is a bonus? Bonus is an add. Bonus is not a
They
take
add
away.
it to you.
It's an add. He added to me. He added to my life.
When I introduce
And
my
then for him-
sons, Disha, when I introduce my sons to people, I don't go to people and tell them these my stepsons.
No,
Well, you know, most people
That's
that
my son.
in a healthy relationship, you don't say this is my step. You say this is my son or whatever you do. But there are people that say this is my bonus child. I don't feel if that's what works for you, that's what works for you.
Oh,
She
But
means
for me-
the way you introduce the kid. Like, is that what you mean? Like they introduce their kid at, okay, this is my kids, this is my bonus. You mean like that?
Right. I don't think they don't need to be.
No, I would never say that.
So why even use bonus if you'll never say it though?
But no, my thing of this when I say
they added to her.
But what I'm saying is why even use it if you'll never say it?
Because
first of
it's
all,
meant
if
to
a
be.
person don't,
Go ahead, Dish.
My thing at first is meant to use as when you introduce it, when people know that you had this many kids, and then they see that, okay, here's another child that you saying is yours. Yeah, this is my bonus son. He was added to me. That don't mean that I didn't birth him. So that's when I say that is my bonus.
I think in
didn't
my
birth him.
head, if they already know that you had so many kids and then another one come along, it's just
Some people don't.
what is it that is it even worth them? I mean, who cares? This is my child.
Donshell said, if I'm married and we are one, how do I have a bonus child?
Good question.
I mean, bonus
Is it your
is really
child or
meant,
not?
bonus is really meant to mean this has been an asset to my life.
Exactly.
That's how this really meant to mean. I don't think it's meant to mean
But we're
bonus
not
child.
saying that it's meant to be in a negative way. We're just saying why use it. It's okay it's to each his own. I don't think that people say it is in a bad term, and I'm not saying that anybody that do use it is saying it in a bad term. But my thing is, why is it a reason to even say a bonus kid? Anybody that knows that if ain't a child that came out of you and you got married, that is, your child from your husband or from your wife. But why do you have to say bonus though?
Well, a lot of people won't know it.
But a lot of people, that's what I'm saying. A lot of people don't know that. Just like you say, you don't want nobody else calling you your child. You just stated that.
She goes shaking her head.
Like that. You've been knowing it all your life. My sister can tell
Lord
you.
have mercy.
I've said it all my life, and I mean it. I stand on it. Whether they do it or not is their own personal thing. Like I said, but I feel some type of way about that because I've earned my title as a mother to those children I birthed.
But my thing of and that's, I feel like that's your assumption on how you go, because if your child chooses to call that person mom or mother, that's because of the respect they have for her, and that's something she may have poured into them plus you, to where they feel like they're comfortable enough.
I get all of
this
that.
is my other mom.
I'm not.
But,
that's what I'm saying. I understand all of that. I'm just saying how I feel.
No.
I birthed them boys. In them gals. I'm the mother.
Like I say, look, we gonna pray for you. We gonna pray for you.
Oh, I need it and keep on, but I promise you it's not gonna change.
Oh Lord, have mercy. We gonna pray for you.
And that's true. She is not gonna change on that, because she is what she is. She has had a lot of change.
Donshell got kids? Donshell, you got kids?
Yeah, she has two. She has two daughters.
Two daughters. Okay.
She does. She has two beautiful. My two little nieces. Yeah, she does.
Oh, you feel the same way about them kids too, Donshell? I get it.
It's okay. It's okay, y'all. I don't want you guys to think that, I'm going to be in my feelings crying. I think the worst of my kids because they're calling somebody else's mother. No, I don't think that. It's not the end of the world. I'm just saying, honestly, how I feel is that I earned the title of being mother. And if we're going to have titles, and titles really don't matter, but let's get into it. It is titles. Titles are put in place for a reason. And if there was no need for titles, then why would we have them? So at some point, titles are necessary. So if there's a mother and a stepmother, act in your position as a stepmother. And if you're a mother-in-law, you're a mother-in-law. And look up the definitions. With these titles come definitions. So I'm the mother. You a mother and a mother-in-law positions as defined ain't the same.
What is the definition of a mother? Can you give me the definition of that?
The definition
The
of a
Webster's
mother.
definition.
Oh, let's look.
Yeah,
it up.
look it up. I want to see what this definition says.
Let's see.
'Cause I want to see if this definition says a woman who raises their child right, who does everything about what they're supposed to be in the child's life, or is it just a mother who births a child?
No, it ain't no mother that birthed a child.
Well, I mean that's what the Bible talks about: honor thy mother and thy father according to position, not productivity.
But you got some mothers don't even need to be called a damn mother, but they'll call their grandmother their mother before they call their mama.
Oh, she feeling emotional about that there. Girl, talk about it.
I'm just saying, let's be real about it. I want to speak on
Okay, it said your mother is the woman who gave birth to you.
That's all it says.
Okay.
That's it.
That's all.
Okay, so I gave birth to my kids. Now you see how I feel. I'm the mother. So why?
But that's all it says.
Okay, then if that is the definition of a mother, then why should when you get
Because
he get
even
married,
a bad mama.
No, listen. It says your mother is the woman who gave birth to you. So why would you, my son, get married and call his wife mother, and she didn't give birth to him?
Well, he probably won't call her mother. He probably will call her mama.
Same difference, mother and mama. Hold on.
Well, look at mama then.
Okay, let's go. Let's get
mama,
into
one that birthed the child too, huh? Okay.
Let's see.
Oh, hold up. It's popping up on the screen. Mother, a woman in a relationship to her child or children. A woman
I'm looking at it. They gave it to me.
Listen, a woman in relation to her child or children. Bring up with care and affection. So, hold on. Give birth to. So, there's a lot of stuff in there that, hold on. But there's a lot of stuff in there that has the, the definition of a mother. Yeah. You see that?
But birth is in there, right?
Birth is in there, but that's all. That's not it.
Bring
that's
up.
all.
I ain't never known no mother-in-law to bring up a child. You didn't bring that child up.
But that's one thing. That's one thing. A woman in relation to her child or children.
Bring you up.
A woman in relation. It's on the screen. It's on the screen. Y'all see that on the screen?
Number one, bring
y'all
up
see that
a
on the
child
screen?
with care and affection. Mother-in-laws don't bring up children.
Okay, Dunshell say every woman that has a child is not a mother. Let's be real.
That's real. Right. That's real.
Let's be real.
That's real.
Right. So just because you gave birth to him doesn't make you a mother.
Oh,
right.
Lord.
But understand my position. I know that I've done everything I'm supposed to do as a mother of my kids is why I'm passionate about that.
I understand
but for the
that.
person that didn't do it,
but why did you do so much where you had to neglect other people's titles?
I ain't neglecting nobody's title.
You did so much where you not letting nobody have a title of a mama in your children's life.
Because I'm their mother.
Why did you put yourself on that? Why did you put yourself?
Because
why you take yourself that far, knowing that they were going to end up married or something?
It doesn't matter because they haven't. Nobody else had to raise my kids.
These are things you should expect, though. You should expect your children, raise your children to fly the nest.
I do, but they don't have to call their mother-in-law mother.
Oh, have mercy. I understand that, but if they do and when they do, you're gonna have to be okay with that.
I didn't never say I wasn't gonna be okay.
You said you can't accept it.
I said I'm gonna feel some type of way.
Why?
Because that's not their mother.
I get it. Okay. B say yes. Absolutely. Dunshell say absolutely. I helped raise one that wasn't biologically mine. She still calls me mom.
That's fine.
I'm gonna pray for them kids. Every time I say that, you just I get it. Look, I'm gonna leave you alone about it because see how you work at it.
I'm fine with it. I get this reaction for a lot of people, and like I said, I'm okay with other folks calling. I never call my husband my mom.
So, Leatrice, let me ask you something. When them boys get married and they get a mother-in-law, how would you feel about them calling their mother-in-law mama? Oh.
Thank you. Okay, she said, and I'm not on. It's not coming from a bad place.
So let me ask you this:
I know what I've been through to raise those children, and that's my title. That's my title.
It's just preference.
It's a preference. It's my title.
Preference.
That's preference.
It's not going to change the relationship.
I don't think that's preference. I think that's growth. I think that has something to do with growth.
I was married and I didn't call.
Yeah, I'm gonna say it. I'm gonna say it because ain't nobody else gonna say it. I think it has something to do with growth.
I don't care how much I grow, and I think I'm a really balanced person. But I'm for real about my title, and it's okay.
At some point, you're gonna have to grow past that, though.
Look, I'm not gonna never grow past my title that I earned. If they choose to call her mother, let me tell you something. If
it's 10 years after he get married and call her mama, you go eventually grow to the point where you go.
I never said that he can't do that, but I'm gonna always feel some type of way because I'm your mother.
Okay, I get it. But let me tell y'all, I don't know how y'all feel about who got kids on here who will feel the same way. Please put it in the comments. I want to know how many
Calvin,
people
how do you feel
would
about
feel.
I don't have no kids.
No. What I'm saying is, you've been.
You
in
say I don't have no kids.
Have your mom and dad been together their whole life?
No.
The divorce. So did he ever remarry? So how did you feel
I
about?
don't call her. I never called her mom, but we never had a relationship. I think it's dependent on your bond in the relationship.
Yeah,
Honestly,
that's different.
he even wanted me to call her Miss, her last name. I still call her by her first name. It's all dependent upon. If I say Miss so and so, that's respect.
Right.
If I go into words of endearment, that's emotional response to how we're feeling. And I mean, not saying mom is endearment, but I think there's levels of what we call.
Yeah. Levels of relationships are important, and I don't know. It's just something that you have to. I don't know.
Let's get back.
You got kids.
We family. So you ask me this question since we family. Ask me this question 5 years from now and see how I feel.
I'm gonna ask. I am. I want to see
When they
the
get
growth.
married, when they get married, let's see how I feel. Because I can say right now,
at some point you gonna be somebody's mother-in-law.
I can say right now that I feel that way, and trust and believe my boys know how I feel. I can say right now I feel that way, but I can't say 5 years from now that I would still feel the same. But it's in right now. That's how I feel.
That's what I'm talking about. At least give yourself that option, that potential to grow.
But even if they get married next year, or say get married,
yeah, that's a little too close.
Let me just say, even if they get married next
close.
year, because Anthony, I do have a son that's looking to get married soon. So even if he get married here in a couple of years, I can't say that I'm going to be, I'm okay with you calling her mom. I can honestly tell you that right now, I'm not going to be mad at him. I'm not going to say, oh, you can't call her mama. I'm not going to do all that. But I am being honest. I'm going to feel some type of way because why do she have to be? I'm going to love his mother. I mean, my daughter-in-law and her mom just like, and I'm never going to disrespect them. I'm never not going to do what needs to be done for my children, family, and even, my daughter-in-law because I love them.
Right.
They've been with their girlfriends. Both of my sons been with their girlfriends since 7th grade, and I do anything for them. There are some beautiful young ladies, smart young ladies. And I hope that one day they do get married. But my sons, all of my children know how I feel about that. And it's not a level of disrespect, but I'm going to feel some type of way. Because I've worked hard for that title to put them in a position. It's not even about feeling underappreciated because I know no one can do what I did with my kids. It's just my title. Yeah. I'm the mom.
Right.
It ain't no more, no less.
Well, you just got to realize you work for more than a title.
I am. I know that. But I'm just saying,
You'll grow past it. I know you will. I'm not even going to sit up here and just keep on driving it. I know you going to grow past it. Dunshire said, I think it's the level of relationship because right now, I'm my girl's only mom, mommy, and mother. What if they want to call you mom? I mean, I get that too. If they want to call you mom, I think they should have, if it's a mutual agreement, a mutual relationship, I think they should have that leeway to do that.
With your children? Call you mom or mom?
No, ain't nobody calling me mom.
No. What she's saying is that not you.
I didn't know what you were saying. Hold on, I be having to put the stop on stuff quick.
So what she's saying is that she's okay with her children call her mom or mommy?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I mean, my kids are come running through the door now. Mom. I think it's the same definition. Ain't nobody never watch mother. Now, Key Anthony made because he's proper. He used everything in the right terminology. He was like mother, and then he used mom when certain things. I don't know what that's about, but he used both of them with me, and I don't have a problem with that.
And so we're talking
it's kind of like the same thing.
It ain't the same.
We're talking about whose position is whose, right? And so I think a lot of times in the single parent relationships with our daughters, it's two ways these can go. It can either go healthy or it can go unhealthy. It can go healthy or unhealthy. I think a lot of times the healthy relationships is based off of people who actually experience good parenting. But a lot of times it goes unhealthy when people didn't experience good parenting. The mother was a molester. The father was a molester, or both was. Either way, it was just something bad that happened as a child, and now you're raising this child as a single parent, and you're broken. You understand what I'm saying? And so you create this relationship with this child that is very unhealthy, right? Because now you're giving them leadway on stuff that they should not have leadway on. I see a lot of little boys and little girls doing stuff that they should never be able to do, saying stuff that they should never be able to say in front of people that should never be able to. It was a time in my life when they said, you need to stay out of grown folks' business. There was a time in my life when they said, what are you doing in here? Are we talking? That time is past. I mean, we done got so comfortable that we allowing the kids to just stay in there. We smoking big blunts and everything. Oh, see, now nobody want to talk about it, but I'm gonna put it.
Because I
understand. But this is the world we living in today.
Absolutely.
There's no distinction for where a child's place is.
Well, I think it's just no respect.
No, it's no distinction. They're not demanding. Right, both ways. They're not demanding respect, and they're not respecting the children at all. And so now we're get in this part in this world where the mother is just as much as the friend on the streets. And that's not healthy, and it creates bad relationships because now this child is growing up without the respect of a parent, without the boundaries that should be set by a parent, and they going, man, I wish I would have cussed my mama out in school. I wish I would have. I couldn't even hit and say nothing to my mama over the phone. Even in front, when my mama would hit me in my throat so quick, make my teeth click. I guarantee it. But these days, this is not the same. And now you have these unhealthy relationships. Like if a mother get a boyfriend, the son acting like he the boyfriend. Oh, see now.
But why do you think that is though?
Because she has given him a position that he should have never had. Same thing with the girl.
From a single home and then starting a date and getting married. Okay,
giving them and same thing with the girl. Then you got this little girl having this bad attitude toward this woman that ain't never did or nothing, but she feel like she's taking her position. It's because she's in the wrong mindset of what the position is. And we got to make that distinction. We got to create that boundary, or you'll have 30-year-old men staying at home with mama.
Well, that's always been happening. It's a lot of that. It's more men staying home with mama than women staying home with dad.
Doesn't make it right.
It don't make it right.
But this is why it's happening.
Why do you think, because you said women, why do you think women, when they're raising their sons, giving them that position as a single parent, and when they start dating, why do you think they do that?
Well, for one, a lot of women give up on the hope of actually finding a faithful man. And so they create that hope in this child. And so instead of raising a man, they're raising their husband, what they would want a man to be.
Okay, so why can't it be this, that when you have a woman that has been single for so long or have been through relationships that have hurt her or failed her, that she's built a bond with her son or daughter that's so strong. So when you do come to in a relationship, that other mate don't understand the love that they had because this has been established for 12 years. Now the mother's open up to try to date or whatever, and it's misinterpreted as if you feel like they have a position, but it is something that's been built up 12 years. It's just been mama, me, this and that, doing this and that.
Because there's no distinction.
And it's going to take a while, though. When you doing something for such a long time, that's like a habit. It's hard to break.
But you create that distinction from the beginning of the relationship, not when you start looking for another one.
No, I get what you're saying, but what I'm saying is even when you create the distinction, everybody don't automatically go into it that way. It's easy. It's easier said than done, like I said earlier.
It is, but it has to be done. That's why we're having this conversation right now, because if we don't have this conversation, this is going to continue to go on, and truth be told, it's going to continue to get worse.
Absolutely. So when is enough time to allow that kid to understand that mom, or to allow that young lady, mom or dad has now gotten into a new relationship, and we're going to have to,
so you're going to have to
understand that things are going to be a little different.
Right.
It's not that I'm going to love you any less or more, but now that I have chosen to date another person and bring someone in, it's going to have to be a balance. I know it's going to be different. It's going to be uncomfortable because when you're used to something, change is hard.
Well,
but
first you got to actually implicate them expectations from the get-go. This is what you should expect. A lot of times we don't even do that because we keep on saying stuff to our children like, ain't nobody gonna love me like my kids love me. Don't you love me, baby? Yeah, mama.
I don't think it's necessary.
It's necessary. Well, nah, it ain't necessary, but you know it's a lot most of the time. Listen, we talk about real life stuff.
Yeah, but
you love mama. Ain't nobody gonna love mama like you love mama. Ain't nobody gonna love daddy like you love daddy. Don't nobody love me like my daughter.
Let me ask you something. Do you think your mother-in-law is my auntie. Do you think my mother-in-law gonna love you better than your mama?
I think she would have a different kind of love. I don't think she'll love me better.
I'm asking you. You said that women. He said it. That we say that ain't nobody gonna love you like mama. That is true.
No. I'm saying ain't nobody gonna love mama like they kids, and that's true. But it should be a distinction. It shouldn't be a different level of love. It should be a distinction of love. These are different types of love. No, ain't nobody gonna love you like your child because that's a child. That's your child. They shouldn't love you like your husband. Y'all go fight. There's a difference. Absolutely. If you're fighting with your child, you're creating a position that shouldn't be created. No way a mother should be arguing with her son or her daughter. No way a father should be arguing with his son or his daughter.
And then there's no way that a wife need to be arguing with the husband. The husband don't be arguing with the wife.
Yeah, but that's more likely to be a suitable position. Why? These are disagreements and agreements.
What's the difference?
There's a big difference because you're taking authority in a household that you're not paying no bills in.
Well, some kids pay bills.
That's not the right household.
Some, but I'm just saying. But you know, a lot of single parents have their sons is out here because
that's
their father
when the
is not
relationship is too late. I'm talking about early on.
But even early on, though, that you come in,
you still got to create the distinction. It doesn't matter what bills you're paying. You're learning how to be an adult.
Right, but what I'm saying is it doesn't automatically for that child cut on and off overnight. When the mother has
That's why I'm saying we got to create that platform, though. We still have to do it. It doesn't matter what they're not on. You as a parent have to be prepared. You have to if you got to read books, whatever you got to do, you say you love that child enough to raise that child right. Yeah. That's what you said. You said you loved them. You said you cared for them. You said nobody go love them like you love them. Well, love them enough to show them what tough love is. Baby, you're going to have this distinction. And I miss them big mamas that was like that, that'll hit you across your head with a broomstick quick.
I don't miss that because that's abuse.
You know what I mean. I ain't talking about it like that.
But even then, some of our big mamas, I'm going to just say, just being real since we're talking real, they felt like they needed to stay with men for whatever benefit they get, and they took a lot of stuff that shouldn't be done. It
was that time.
I get it, but that's just like this is this time,
right? So, but that doesn't give us the right to not make that distinction.
It does not.
The distinction still has to be made.
The distinctions that's never being made.
Well, it's still. Deisha say, child become the husband, and then she become jealous of the attention isn't on her when the child. That's exactly what I was saying, Deisha. When he get a wife. You sit up to talk about my kids, they gonna never leave me, baby. When he get busy with them kids and that wife, you gonna feel like he neglecting you.
Oh, I want mine to leave me. I don't want to stay in the house with me.
I'm gonna be confused in a minute. I'm gonna be confused
they have to. I don't want my son staying with me. So what I'm saying is that's not out to me. That's not always true in every circumstance to when that happens in a household because. At some point, you got to know what they have been through as a mother, a single mother with children. You have to know what they've been through to what's making them act the way they act. And it ain't always because she done gave them that position or made them feel like that they're the man of the household or you done made your daughter feel like she's the man.
She's the woman of the house?
Yeah. It's not always that though, Shelvin. Because let me just say this. Because sometimes you can be the best parent, and we all have you probably feel like you've been the best parent to your son you can be, right? No. Just like I feel like I've been the best that I can be to what I know, and there's no perfect book. And that's what I'm saying.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Well,
you having to teach them, put them in bad situations.
Let me ask you this one question. How long have black people in America been raising their own kids?
A long time.
How long?
Generations.
What's a generation?
Look, I want to say generations is, 40, 50 years. That's all you ever know.
So you're saying generations. But we wasn't freed until the Emancipation Proclamation in 1812.
Okay.
Our kids were sold in slavery, right? Most of them. Not all of them, but most of them.
Right.
So the general mindset of, I'm going to have this baby, and then baby go be gone. This happened for over 200 years.
Right.
And then when we got freed in 1812, we still wasn't even raising our children because we was too busy surviving.
Right.
And we never even got a say-so to even vote until 1966 after Martin Luther King's deal with the Selma deal.
Okay.
And so when did we actually start raising our own kids?
I can't answer that for you or the ones back then, but I've been raising mine since I pushed them out the snatch.
I'm talking about in a general, baby. We're talking to the whole world right now.
Even in the whole world, the moment that you deliver your kid, you raising your kid if it's in your possession.
Right.
Now, if it was taken away from you or something like that, of course, it's not.
All I'm saying is this: we're still affected negatively from all of that.
That's because you're allowed to be.
It's not allowed. It's a spiritual and natural effect that has happened over decades, over centuries, over a long time. There's no way you can say that didn't have an effect on anybody. Even us, right now, sitting at this table, is still affecting us right now. How?
As an individual or as a whole?
Look how mature we are as parents. Look how mature we are as a people. Look at us as a people. I'm not talking about as Deisha or Canelo. I'm talking about as a people.
I understand as a people, but what I'm saying is that comes with choices that you make, right?
No, sometimes you're just fighting from choices that was made for you. That's what they call in curses, generational curses. We're trying to break all of those.
You make a choice to break it, right? It's still a choice.
It's still a fight.
But you're choosing to fight to make a different.
That doesn't mean because you chose to fight is going to change it immediately.
See what you just said immediately. So when you take it in a home like that, it's not going to change immediately. And you're saying that you have to make a distinction. Even when making a distinction, it don't always come overnight. And somebody
That's
probably
what
not.
I'm saying.
But what I'm saying is people are not willing to hang in there. You see what I'm saying? And you don't know how long it's going to take for a kid to break.
But you got to still keep on. That's your child.
Right. Most of the time, the person that child it is, they keep fighting. It's the other person that gives up and walk away.
The stepchild, the stepfather, or the mother?
The stepfather, mother walk away before the real parent does, even when they're fighting to change it. There
wouldn't be no stepfather or mother if the other parent was there.
At some point they're there, but it can be.
I get you what you're saying, but you hear what I said?
I understand what you're saying.
So this is what I'm saying. Even though we have all of these things working against us, we know there's going to be some work. We know it. It's not going to be over the night deal. It's not going to be where I made up my mind and everything just made a change. It's going to be something that we're going to have to work for, and we're going to have to do it as a people.
But we don't. Somebody fold all the time. Nobody's willing to stay in there and hang in there because people at some point have a breaking point and say, look, I can't deal with that. We are built different. Some people can deal with more than others, and it is what it is. Some people can actually hang in there and through the fight and not give up. And some people can actually want to, but they just don't have that extra because they wasn't built that strong to deal with that situation.
Well, I'm going to tell you, because for most men, it's true. I told you them the kids going to drive you crazy. You
Come on then, Calvin.
I don't really agree with that. I was talking to a friend.
Calvin, you got to get on the mic, bro, because they can't hear you.
I can just relate.
Okay.
I was talking to a friend a long time ago.
Uh-huh.
He said if people in general would approach friends, we believe we can dust our hands off on friends.
Mm-hmm.
You cross us, you lie to us, you cheat,
right?
You steal, whatever. We ain't cool no more.
Right.
Family do that. We're willing to work through it.
Right.
That's a choice.
Right.
That's not an on and off switch. So you said people are built. No, we're all built the same.
Mm-hmm.
But we're choosing
to
handle situations
differently.
I'm choosing to throw my friend in the trash,
right?
But my son just stole from me. I'm gonna pray for him, but he's still my son no matter what. That's a choice.
So actually,
I'm saying we're built. Some people are stronger than others.
That's still a choice.
I don't think that's a choice.
Well,
choosing to handle the situation is different. Not because me and you are the same. I'm choosing. We all treat friends differently than family.
It's a choice.
We don't have to.
It's a choice.
They're doing the same thing. They've earned the same outcome. But we're choosing to handle it differently.
And I think if we keep on saying that we all built differently, we'll keep on giving each other excuses not to do what we're supposed to do.
I can see that, but I'm just saying.
Who not go run? Who not go use that as an excuse?
Everybody ain't built for it tough. I'm just saying it.
Well, neither is Chevy, but Chevy still keep going.
Right. I ain't saying stop because you ain't built like the next person. I'm not saying that at all. But I just know that everybody's not on the same playing field, level field all the time at that moment.
But what I'm saying is, in general, as a whole, that's not an excuse. It doesn't matter. You still got to keep. What are you going to do otherwise? What's your life going to be like otherwise?
I get what you're saying, but we're talking about reality.
I understand what you're saying.
People give up. It's not right, but they give up. They give in. It's
because we're not encouraging each other. Most men, when we get in relationships with a woman with kids, guess what his homeboy is saying? Oh, bro, them kids go drive you crazy.
Now you speak. You're right, and that's the women.
We're not encouraging each other.
I can agree with that.
And so we need to start encouraging each other.
It's your circle of influence. You can't have people in your circle that's not going to be positive when you're going through what you're going through.
But this is the general view from the world.
It is.
And it shouldn't be, though.
It shouldn't, but it is. So you as a person,
but we as a people can change it. Why is it? It shouldn't, but it is. We make these decisions as people.
We do.
We all have minds, and we can all say, "Well, look, if he want to be that child's stepfather, we go support him. If she want to be that child's stepmother, we go support her." Why are we steady kicking these people down?
Yeah. I think that's something personal. I mean, for me, it's to each. I'm not going to be worried about nobody's household. Because me worried about your household, I ain't paying no bills on my house.
But not we're in this together.
Even when we're in it together, there's still a level of what's not your business.
Oh, yeah. You're right about that.
So what I'm saying is you have to learn, even if we're in this fight together, there's still certain things that's not my business that I need to speak on or have the right to feel like my opinion should matter.
Yeah, but you can always encourage.
You're right. But even certain things, if you're not pertinent to that information, how can you encourage me? Because I ain't even talked to you about it. You see what I'm saying?
Well, you don't have to talk to me about it. Look, I know stuff is hard, but by the way your demeanor is, I don't have to know your situation to know who I'm messing with.
But just because, let me just say this: some people walk around again. Disha said mask. You think that everything is okay because they hold it well, right? But they're dealing with something, and you probably could help them, encourage it, and to see them change their point of view. But because they come around you, you never. How many times something that happened to somebody, you like, I ain't never known that. I would have never thought.
That's why we have to start doing counseling. We got to get. I'm not going to keep on giving our people excuses to stay where we're at.
I don't feel like it's an our people issue. As single parents,
but that's not what I'm concerned about. God tended to His people first because they were the example.
I'm losing it now. Now
you understand what I'm saying?
Because I don't know what we're talking about.
I understand where he's coming from, but I think
because it starts at home.
It does, but what I'm saying is every home is different, and everybody going to make different choices, and everybody's strengths and weaknesses are different. So therefore, at some point, one person going to be stronger than the other at that point of their lives, and some people going to fold at that point. Now, let that same issue happen 10 years from now from that person. They may be strong enough at that point to stay in and fight. But it depends on what level of your life that you at to where you're going to fold or hold on in any relationship. You're saying we, but it is an I or them, because at the end of the day, everybody has their own household and circumstances that they have to deal with. I don't know anybody. Now,
I'm not saying that this is just black people either.
I said households. I know it ain't black. It's the world.
Everybody has these problems.
If you live,
it's easier for Caucasian people to get nannies than raise their own kids. Everybody has their own problems. I'm not gonna let nobody escape from this. But listen, man, we are out of time. Man, this has been. I'm gonna read these last comments, then we gonna say our final remarks, then we gonna be out of here, man. Rod say mindset is everything, and that's why things don't change. So men think it, so is he. So as a man think it, so is he. We choose how we think. It's a choice we make. People have the right to human in kind. Okay, you might have to send me a little more on that one. She'll say, when it comes to children, it takes all parties coming together for the greater good of the children, parents and step-parents. It says, Fatima says, I don't think it's a choice. I think it's the circumstances that you were brought up in steers the choices that you make in life. I don't believe it's excuses. We all come from different backgrounds and different circumstances. Please something to certain decisions in life. And I get what you're saying. It says people have to learn, agree to disagree out of love. Rod say when in relationships, marriage, we have to deal with other issues. This goes back with our issues, right? This goes back to mindset. We have to want better for our mental being. And this is all that we're saying. I don't know if y'all got some closing remarks, but look, whose position is whose? We'll start with Kyrie. I don't have it.
I'm not a parent. I've been a child in that position,
Right.
so I can speak on that position only. And when in regards to position as far as being somebody's stepdaughter, as it relates to that, I've never called her anything but her miss in her name. And as a person that has been married, I just called her by her first name, and we were close. But I just feel like, again, that's a choice. That's just, if you're comfortable with it, let it stick. If you don't, whatever. In regards to not feeling comfortable as a mother, I've not had the joy of being a mother yet. But having my own mother, when I called somebody else mom, for her it was like, mama, so I understand how that may feel as a parent. I can relate to it in that aspect, and to each his own. I don't really have too much to say about that because that's not.
I can dig it.
I haven't made it to that point.
Fun, what you got? Come with another question.
So I agree with her. I'm not a parent, but I've never called my stepmom mom.
Right.
And it's not out of disrespect. It's just never happened. And yeah, if I'm not a parent, so I don't really know about that.
Okay, I got you.
Yeah.
Got you.
Yeah, parents.
Canella?
I mean, whose position is whose when, this title came up as far as in a household, whose position who's far as your husband and your kids. Of course, the husband should always, biblically, like it says, come first, not so much as you tend to him first and forget about the kids.
Right.
It's an even playing field. On that note, I just want to say if you have a healthy, I want to say if you get married, it's at a healthy place.
We hope.
If you choose to get married.
We hope.
You're healthy to where there shouldn't be no reason why the children at that point don't know who position is who.
Right.
Nobody should be fighting for a position.
That's powerful.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So if you're married, that's one of the, before you get married, I would say look into that first, because if y'all fighting for a position, it ain't no need to get married.
Right.
But if you're married, that shouldn't even be a problem at this point. Everybody knows their position.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
But speaking from someone that's single going into that, it may be a little bit different.
Yes.
And there was a point to where we all was single before we got married.
Right.
And they had kids that, that came in. Like I say, that my children, my firstborns are my husband. My daughters are in between. There's not. But they never had to fight for position because everybody knew their position. They already knew their position as kids. I think that comes from, as a parent, whether both parents are not around, you're doing the right thing and enforcing the right things in their kids.
Right.
You don't have those problems. But when you don't have that, then all that comes into play. As far as, we already know how I feel about the word mom. I'm the only mother, so we ain't gonna get into that. We didn't cover that whole long enough. So that's just how I feel about that, and it is what it is.
I love y'all the same. I love y'all the same. And all that's really, really powerful, what everybody just said, because y'all spoke from the perspective of being a stepchild, but not calling, the parent whatever they want to be called or whatever, just respecting that relationship that y'all have. And I understand your view on it. That is powerful for you to go into a marriage. Everybody needs to know their position. This is not a Las Vegas thing that we just go and let's go and elope overnight and, surprise people. We can't do that with kids. And when I say our people, I do mean in the sense of coming from where I come from in poverty, just where we come from as a people. But I'm talking in a general sense where all children are important, right? We can't have no children going and feeling neglected or operating in positions that they shouldn't be operating in. I don't feel like no child should have to pay bills in their parents' house. I really don't feel like that. Now, if they decide to do that out of wanting to learn responsibilities, okay, that's cool. But out of being necessity, I don't think that is a good environment for a child. Not at that age, because now they're operating in a position they're not even getting a chance to grow and actually flourish as they could. You understand what I'm saying? And all I'm saying is we have to get past the excuses of why we're not doing what we need to do as a people. Period. I'm talking about black, white, Asian, Mexican, whatever. We need to get past those excuses, because the longer we sit there and make those excuses, the longer we're going to stay stagnant, not just as a city, not just as a state, not just as a country, but as a world. Yeah. And we're trying to get to a better place in life. And we have to get there, and we can't get there with all of those excuses. Whose position is whose? We already know God is first, Jesus, the husband, the wife, and the kids. And that's just the God ordained structure of the house. And it's that important. I didn't even ask my sons to call me father. Matter of fact, I just told them, hey man, y'all can call me Shelvin. They actually call me dad to their friends. They don't call me dad to me. And I didn't even know about it. Right? I was just moseying one day, picking my son up from practice, and he said, hey, there go your dad, man. And he was like, oh, okay. I'm like, oh, that's cool, man. So he tell them I'm his dad, but he come home and call me Shelby. I mean, that's cool. I like it.
Yeah,
I like
but
it.
in the end, that's his decision, and that's what makes it even the best, that it wasn't forced to call you something that he was uncomfortable with.
Right, and it's cool. Right? Now, we'll probably talk about this a little bit next time, but how many mothers and fathers are the mother and father, but their kids call them by their name, and the father and mother had to tell them, I am not your friend. You go call me. That's forcing them to call them a position too.
I think it's just a level of respect that should have been put in the beginning.
Oh, okay. We'll talk about it. We'll talk about it. But this is where we're at right now. The position will never we'll never be able to reconstruct the position that God has ordained, and we got to teach our kids their position.
Well, as Calvin said, or someone, was it you or Calvin in the text when we first discussed it, that the blueprint is there?
That was Calvin.
That was Calvin. So that's absolutely.
It's there.
But also, he said that everybody not living in Christianity,
and they're not. They're not. And these are just other excuses. These are just confusions. These are just things that the enemy is using as tactics, because the enemy wants to attack anything of God. Yeah. And since the house is so important to God, the enemy is going to attack that first. You understand what I'm saying? He's going to attack anything, any image that God has. He's going to attack that. The union, all that. He's going to attack that. The first thing he attacked was Adam and Eve in the garden. Yeah. He attacked the structure. Yeah. And so we at least let us raise our children without the mindset of what position is what. At least let us give them that. And if they go from that, then okay, they go from that and maybe they'll come back. But at least give them the basic principles of what a God-ordained structure of a house is. Give them that fighting chance.
And it's going to start from the parents knowing themselves, because a lot of people don't know the structure. Because let me just be honest. I'm 41 years old, and the structure that you just gave, like for me, I didn't know that was a structure just by saying, oh, it's in the Bible, but I knew it because that's what was told by my grandmother. You understand what I'm saying? I didn't know it for reading for myself. I just knew it because I've heard conversations of my grandmother and great-grandmother and how they did what they did. You understand what I'm saying? So for me, looking at it and hearing it, I just assumed that's the way it was supposed to be.
Right. And I mean, however you got it, you got it.
But I'm just saying, I would have never known was that the right way until you said it. You understand what I'm saying? I'm just going by, what I saw and what I heard.
Right.
And that goes to me needing to get into the word and learning it for myself instead of just letting somebody else exemplify what it means.
Right. And I'm not saying that the mother is more important or the father is more important or the husband is more important or the wife is more important than the children. Because we always know that the children are the most important. You wouldn't be working so hard if they wasn't, I promise. You wouldn't be doing none of the stuff you were doing if the kids wasn't that important. All I'm saying is we have to teach them that. And if they don't learn it from us, who are they going to learn it from?
Absolutely.
Hey, man, look, I'm your boy Shelvin.
True 102.
I'm Cornella.
Lady K.
Hey, look, I know this was a real tough topic tonight. A few swears, few laughs, man. But look, we gotta have these conversations. Listen, we love that y'all came up here and chatted with us, man. Next week, y'all come right back, man. We go chat it up. Peace. Wow. But that was really a tough topic. Like,